Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to give you the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Chiba Lotte Marines. This game is going to be the third game of the three-game set, and each team has won in the series. The first game of the series, it was a 3-0 lead by the Hawks, and the Marines were able to claw back. They dropped a 3-2 decision, and then yesterday the Marines bounced back with a victory to even the series at 1. It is a decent crowd in Chiba today, as they are going to play their third game of this set, as we mentioned. It's going to be an interesting-looking day, as the Marines are wearing a gray top with white pants. That is certainly a odd combination, with their black trim as well, as they're going to be taking the field. We're going to give you the starting lineups, and first of all, we'll give it to you for the visiting Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off and playing first base is number 7, Akira Nakamura. Batting second in left field is number 3, Kensuke Kondo. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. And the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Batting fifth and in center field is number 8, Taisi Makihara. Batting sixth in right field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Hitting seventh and playing shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Batting eighth and playing second base is number 0, and that's Freddie Galvis. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 19, Takuya Kai. And they are going to be facing, for the Chiba Lotte Marines, it's going to be at Sushi Tanichi. We've seen Tanichi pitch a couple of times this year already. He's worked 14 2/3 innings, allowed 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He has walked 9 and struck out 23, and he has a 1.84 ERA. Our concern with Tanichi is his walk rate per innings pitched. As we said, 9 walks in those 14 2/3 innings. But when he is on, his stuff is electric. And so he is going to be taking to the hill here. And now your starting lineup for the home team for the Chiba Lotte Marines. Leading off and in right field is number 13, Taiga Hirasawa. Batting second and playing shortstop is number 4, Yudai Fujioka. Batting in the 3rd spot and playing second base is number 8, Shogo Nakamura. And the cleanup spot in left field is number 51, Koki Yamaguchi. Batting 5th and playing third base is number 5, Hisanori Yasuda. Batting 6th at first base is number 44, Seiya Inoue. Batting in the 7th spot and doing the catching is 32, Toshiya Sato. Batting 8th first base is number 39, Seiichiro Oshida. And batting 9th and in center field is number 0, Hiromi Oka. And they are going to be facing, for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, it is going to be Tomohisa Ozeki, who takes to the mound. And Ozeki is 1-1 on the year. He has worked at 21 innings. He's allowed 11 hits, 4 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 8 and struck out 14 with a 1.71 earned run average. Well, that is your lineups, and this one is ready to get underway, as the pitcher Tanichi has completed his warm-up tosses. And the left-handed hitting Akira Nakamura stands in, and he takes a first pitch fastball upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. We'd like to welcome everybody into the stream tonight who is here. We've got our friend Titus, God is great, Steve Rademacher in the house. We appreciate everybody for being here. And there's a fastball that misses up and away again, and it's quickly 2-0 to Nakamura. So 2 balls and no strikes. The right-hander ready to go again, as we're here in the top of the first inning, and it's a fastball that just catches the outside corner and has taken for a called strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. There's a couple of Nakamuras in the ball game, 1 for each team. As there's a fastball that just misses upstairs. It now goes to 3-1. Our friend Tyler is back in the house. He says, got some terrible luck last night. Our picks have been a bit of a challenge for us this year, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-2 to Nakamura. We haven't really been able to get into the groove yet. I'd be able to figure some of this stuff out. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. And it is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted down the left field line. It's going to reach the seats. That is going to keep the count at 3-2 to Nakamura. But sometimes that happens. You get on runs, get on other runs that are of the bad variety. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. This is lined softly to the third baseman. And it's going to be easily caught by Hisanori Yasuda as he moved toward the third baseline. And Nakamura is going to be gone for out number 1 here. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Kensuke Kondo. Well, for Kondo, he's hitting .274 in the early going with a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. Big boost to the Hawks lineup. The left-handed hitting outfielder as he was acquired in the offseason from the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. As there's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Adding to the depth of this Hawks lineup, I would think over the long haul, this retooled Hawks lineup is going to be pretty solid. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 2-0. Freddie Galvis in the lineup tonight. We haven't seen a lot of Galvis. Obviously, he struggled last year in his first year in the NPB to the point where the Hawks had sent him down for an extended period in the farm league. As there's a fastball taken for a call and strike. The count is now 2-1. Williams Astudillo also finding that same fate right now. And I shouldn't say that he's down in the farm league, but off to a slow start for the Hawks. As there's a breaking ball that's taken for a call and strike. The count is now 2-2. Our friend Tyler said he lost $400 in profit. Yeah, that would be a tough night if you're betting that kind of money. I'm not sure what your percentage of your bankroll is. As there's a fastball swung on, it's grounded softly over to first, fielded by Inui, who steps on the bag, and that's going to retire Kondo on a ground out to 3 for out number 2. Our friend Fox12 asked the question to Steve Rademacher if he's from Illinois. Well, yeah, I think he's from, if I'm not mistaken, he is a Wisconsin guy who lives in Kansas. So that kind of makes you maybe feel like you're from Illinois. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Friend Shotgun Shell in the house tonight. We welcome you for the stream. Thank you for being here. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that's taken for a call and strike. That's what I like about this starter, Tanichi. He hit that fastball there, had a lot of arm side run. It looked like it was going to be inside, and it came right across the plate. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Our friend Steve Rademacher says Wisconsin is in the house. Alexander Leggett also makes an appearance here. Welcome, Alexander. Great to see you again. There's a breaking ball swung on it as did foul down the third base line, and the count goes 2-2 to Yuki Yanagita. Tyler says it was house money, so no harm, no foul. That's good that it was. You never want to dip into the personal amount any more than you have to. So here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is fouled away down the left field line. Keeps the count at 2-2 to Yanagita. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Friend Alexander says no such thing as house money. Here's the 2-2. And it's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. Should Yanagita reach base, it'll be Ryoya Kurihara who waits his turn on deck. I don't like these gray on white uniforms. We always tell young players when they show up and they're wearing gray pants and white socks, that's a bad look. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined over the head of the leaping third baseman into left field. Yuki Yanagita is aboard with a 2-out single. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Ryoya Kurihara. As we mentioned, when we talk to young kids when they show up, they've got their white socks and their gray pants, and it's not a good look. And we kind of coach them up a little bit, but that's what the Marines are doing here. They got gray tops and white pants. It looks kind of ugly. So that brings Kurihara to the plate. He's hitting .254 in the early going with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. And he swings at the first pitch, and he lifts it foul down the left field line. It's drifting over, and it's going to get out of play as the third baseman gives chase, and that would have been Yasuda. So 1 strike it is to Kurihara. Tanichi gets himself a new baseball, and he wastes no time as he's ready to go back to work. He works to the set position. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on it, missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. Our friend Alexander Leggett says, I kind of want the Marines to win tonight just to show up the Hawk. The Marines have been tough at home. so far in the early going this season, so it's not out of the question as the 0-2 is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. I look at some of our stuff that we have here, and when I look at some of the information that we get, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And stopping at second will be Yanagita. It looked like he wanted to make the turn to go to third, but back-to-back singles here with 2 out, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Taisi Makihara. Always drives you crackers. You get the first 2 outs of the inning, and then the next thing you know is you get yourself into a little bit of trouble. And that's exactly where it stands right now for the Marines here, as they've got 2 on and 2 out. And everything has started to happen with 2 out. Last night, it was the Marines with a 6-0 victory over the Hawks. As we mentioned in the opener of the series, it was a 3-2 victory for the Hawks. They scored the first 3 runs and then had to hang on as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Taisi Makihara. Makihara batting at .306 on the early going with no homers and 4 RBIs. As the right-handed pitcher Tanichi delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Makihara. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Mick is in the house here. We welcome him in here as well. I had the picks up for today's game very late. It was a busy day, up at 6:30 in the morning, and didn't get home until mid-afternoon, late afternoon, and had to take care of a couple of things and didn't get the picks up till after my post-afternoon nap or early evening nap, as we had a very abbreviated bit. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. Not like we have done really well with our picks so far this year. As we said, probably be better off if we had the coin going. Maybe the coin would be able to get us a little bit better percentage. Maybe that'll be the game next year. We're going to make the picks, and then we're going to have the coin make the pick just on the flip and see who does better. Now we got Chris Slayton in the house tonight, the hobbyist. Welcome, Chris. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. Alexander Leggett says, as for the uniforms, they didn't realize that this would be a runway and I'd be critiquing their fashion choices. Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. I guess what might even be worse is to go with gray pants. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it is a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul down the left field line. And the count remains at 1-2 to Makihara. Again, the crowd in full voice tonight here in Chiba. They are cheering down the left field line in the cheap seats. Our friend Chris says he stayed up late to watch the Meteor Show. You must have good viewing, because we're socked in with cloud and rain, which is pretty much par for the course for this time of the year. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Makihara. So I wouldn't know. The moon could be falling from the sky, and we would never know it. A friend Mick says, do you ever look at the odds on the games before doing the matchups? Not always, as there is a fastball that is lifted down the left field line, and that's going to reach the seats. And here are part of my reasons why to that, Mick, as he does ask a very good question. Is number one is I look at the starting pitchers. That's the first thing. Number two is we don't get the lineups until at the bare minimum an hour before the game, let alone 45 minutes beforehand. And certainly when I get a chance to, if I make MLB type of picks, there's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the left field line. The count remains at 2-2 to Makihara. Major League Baseball, it'll be approximately 3 hours before the game you get the starting lineup. So if you've got a star pitcher like a Garrett Cole going against a getaway lineup, to me, that's almost easy pickings in some cases. In some cases, as the split finger pitch is swung on tap foul, it's going to keep the count at 2-2. 32 pitches already so far for Tanichi here in the first inning. As we said, the first two batters, he was able to retire quickly, and then it's been a slog ever since. This is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Makihara. He's just continued to knock it off here. As here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on it. It's tapped slowly back to the pitcher. Tanichi fields it. It's not a good throw, but it was a great pick by the first baseman. Excellent job there by Inui to save his pitcher. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Hawks in their half of the first inning. No runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are through a half inning. It is the Hawks, no score, and Chiba coming to bat. So stick around, everybody. I'll be right back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for listening in, and I'll come back and answer some more mixed questions right after this from our friend Steve Rademacher, who was in here to start the stream tonight.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Chiba Lotte Marines bottom half of the first inning, and it'll be Taiga Hirasawa, Yudai Fujioka, and Shogo Nakamura, coming to bat here for the Marines. We were talking in that last half inning about the odds, and there is an NPB site that I do look at, or not an NPB site, but there's a site called Odds Portal that is out there that from time to time I'll go and take a peek at to see what maybe the odds are, but I don't do that on the daily. Generally speaking, I wait to see what the pitching matchups are, and they usually come out during the game or slightly before the game that's going on the day of. So in other words, in the games last night, they would have announced the Sunday starters, or certainly before the end of the ball game. There's a first pitch fastball delivered by Ozeki. It's swung on, is lifted into deep center field. Drifting over to his left is the center fielder Makihara, and he's going to haul it in. So with one pitch, there is one away here in the bottom of the first inning, and that's going to bring up Yudai Fujioka. Well, for Fujioka on the young season, he's hitting .321. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. He got off to a fast start. At one point, I believe he was 8 for 14 at the plate. Can't keep that pace up forever. And there was a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Fujioka. I was just a few more comments on that. So, in watching the games and getting a feel for the bullpen usage, generally that usually helped me last year when we were starting to do some of the picks. But as I said, this year it's been a little bit of a challenge. And certainly the teams like Tohoku, who are winning tonight, with that lineup that they have, they've really underachieved so far. I would think that there's going to be some regression, as they can't be this bad the whole season. As that fastball misses down, and the count is 2-1 to Fujioka. Ozeki ready to go back to work. Number 42 rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul behind home plate, and the count is now 2-2. Reading what Alexander Leggett has to say, he says, I think you'd be better off with AIC score. Tests with a machine learning model is the best for a data set. And sometimes that is something that also, when you're using or you're looking at stuff, there's a fastball swung on and all the way. Count is 2-2. You also have to start to get a tendency of how the managers are using their ball clubs. As an example, Tadeguchi last year was the manager for the Marines. Of course, he was fired at the end of the year. They have a new manager with the Saitama Cebu Lions this year, and getting a feel for how they choose to use their bullpen. Did they overuse certain guys? Did they underuse certain guys? Those become the questions as that breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is now 3-2 to Fukuoka. And sometimes it's getting a feel for how they're using their stuff is just as important as anything else. Remember last year, the Saitama Cebu Lions was considered to have the worst bullpen in the Pacific League. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is drilled down the right field line, and this ball is going to get down. It's into the corner. Coming up with it is the right fielder, Yannick Gamachi, and he fires it back in. And standing on second with a one-out double is going to be Fukuoka. And that is going to be a one-out double, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Shogo Nakamura. Well, Nakamura steps to the plate. He is having an absolutely atrocious start to the season by his standards. He's batting .156 with a homer and 5 RBIs. The captain of the Marines is a steady, everyday player at second base, but he has yet to lock in and get things going here in this season of 2023. So he waggles the bat, and they're waiting here on the offering from the left-hander Ozeki. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I just somehow see, but both of these teams I would think are going to be going into the bullpen here tonight, as neither of the starting pitchers have been particularly sharp so far in the first inning. Even Ozeki, although he's only on pitch number 9, he has not been sharp, especially to the other Fukuoka. There's a fastball that just misses off the inside corner, and the count goes even at 1-1. A little surprising that Hirasawa would swing at the first pitch to get the ball game going. He gifted momentum to the lefty Ozeki, as it's 1-1 strike. Nakamura waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from the lefty, who kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 1-2 to Nakamura. Alexander Leggett says, decent crowd there today. Absolutely. Nice day for baseball in Chiba. Hopefully, looks like there's a little bit of cloud in the area. I didn't see on the NPB site if they were predicting a rain. Sometimes you get the forecast as well with the projected starters. The pitch is delivered. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2 to Nakamura. Already lots of scoring around the NPB, and we'll keep you updated on all that. The other game that has scoring in the Pacific League, it's a 3-1 lead for the Eagles over the Fighters. That's in the top of the fourth. That had an earlier start. Carper trailing the Bay Stars 2-1 in the bottom of the third inning. The Tigers are up 1-0 in the top of the second against the Dragons. Another late start at Jinju tonight as the Giants and the Swallows go off at 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern, or 6 o'clock local time in Japan, or 1800 hours, I should say. As the fastball swung on, it is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2 to Nakamura. And usually what happens is once the games get underway, you lose the forecast from the NPB. We do know that it's supposed to be sun in Tokyo for that game at 6 o'clock. We're assuming that Chiba is going to have a similar type of weather pattern. As the 2-2 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on a grounded foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2 to Nakamura. Alexander Leggett says, decent crowd today. I don't know if you meant in our stream or at the ball game between Chiba and Fukuoka. Had a decent crowd last night. Pretty steady for that ball game. Decent pitching matchup, which is why we bounced over to that call between the Lions and the Buffaloes. Normally, I like to try to stay with a series for an entire weekend, but that pitching matchup last night between Yamamoto and Kona Takahashi was just too tantalizing, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 2-2 to Nakamura. Certainly the crowd in left field, the Chiba supporters are in good voice, on their feet chanting. Curious to see, I know Andy was in here last night, Altman Orr, as the pitch is a fastball and it swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. And one of the things he was saying in the chat is that, he moves around. He doesn't really care where he sits. He's been to a lot of games and stuff. And I started to echo those same sentiments. I don't actually care where I sit all the time. Sometimes I've had seats in the front row of stadiums and right behind home plate to the last row in the upper deck in the left field corner and all points in between. And sometimes it's just as fun to move around to see the game from different vantage points. When I was in Seattle last week, I had tickets in the lower deck on the left field line, about 30 some odd rows up, and approximately maybe I'd say 50 feet from the left field corner or left field foul pole, as there's a fastball swung on and another one fouled away by Nakamura. This is 9 pitches already in this at bat. It's going to be number 10 coming up here to Nakamura. Our friend Alexander said, it looks like there's more than 20,000. That's for sure. I agree with you. I think this game here would border on probably 80 or 90% capacity. Really good crowd for this one, as the 2-2 is on the way, and it is a fastball that just misses inside. That runs the count to 3-2 on Nakamura. Our friend Mick says he found a guy who does NRL commentating. That's pretty good. We have the fellow that jumps into our stream every once in a while, which is Yannick Shrambini. He does Shrambini tennis, and so if you're into tennis, he's a pretty entertaining guy. He's a supporter of our stream, and he listens in and everything else. I don't know if his commentating has been part of that, and it's not a knock to him. I don't really know tennis as well as maybe other sports, but he is entertaining and he provides some good insight, more so than maybe the direct play-by-play. As here comes the 3-2 pitch from Ozeki, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. It's blocked in the dirt. Nice job by the catcher, who picks it up and throws to first. That's going to retire Nakamura on a strikeout, 2-3. It's going to keep the runner Fujioka at second base. And that will bring up the left fielder Koki Yamaguchi. Mick says there is a difference between rugby union, rugby league, and Aussie rules. 100% there is. Rugby union is the traditional 15 aside, where they have the scrum and they lock them up and the ball goes in underneath. It's I would call it more traditional. Where the NRL is a very fast game. They really don't have the scrums. You have these modified scrums. It's almost a extension of what the rugby sevens is all about. And if you've ever seen rugby sevens, that's electric fast rugby where there's 7 aside. So here comes the first pitch to Koki Yamaguchi, and the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. And Aussie rules football, the AFL, as Alexander Leggett says, is madness. AFL is a ton of fun to watch. I think they also have about 15 players aside, and we used to get it late night on television here, and used to be a regular in watching it. And then, like everything else, NRL, Aussie rules, a lot of the soccer has gone off of mainstream TV. There's a fastball that misses down. The count is 2-0. And so now they've become almost more independent, and they've backfilled a lot of television with, and I hate to sound maybe sexist or something like that, but we're getting women's professional hockey, which I didn't even know there was a professional league. I'd rather watch the WNBA all day long as opposed to, some of that other stuff. Our friend Gracie's back in the house tonight. Hey, Gracie, welcome back again. As there is a fastball that the hitter Yamaguchi checks swing on, and the umpire calls it a strike, and the count is now 2-1. Alexander Leggett says shorter careers than even in the NFL, kids retiring at 24 years old. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. It is a very short piece for the AFL, or certainly in rugby. But on the flip side of the coin, it's a very fast game. And the fitness levels of the athletes are just off the charts, as that fastball misses down and in. Count is now 3-1 to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi, with his 197 batting average entering tonight's affair, he got off to a good start, a flying start, and then it's been really tough after that. Gracie says she may not stay long because she's pretty tired, might be here for an inning or two. Well, just having you here for an inning or two is great to have you anyway. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted down the right field line. And this ball is going to slice foul as the right fielder, Yannick Gamachi, watches it sail into the seats. It's going to run the count to 3-2. Yeah, Alexander Leggett says he starts talking about sexism the minute the Gracie walks into the stream. Yeah. Well, that's the unfortunate part. I mean, it's, you look at some of the stuff. If you want to, I'll go out and say this 100%. I'm all for having women's sports network here up in Canada. We have the sports network TSN. I'd be all for it, all for having it as the front and center piece, if that's what you choose to want to watch. So there was a fastball swung on and fouled away. In other words, if ESPN all of a sudden pivoted and started to show a different set of programming, I think some of the current viewers might be lifting their eyebrows saying, hey, what's going on here? You're taking baseball off TV and you're supplementing it with, the Australian rules football women's league, and that's what happened up here is we weren't getting Aussie rules football. We were getting the AFL women's league, and people were kind of lifting their eyebrows. And I know that's a bit of a pivotal shift in the post-pandemic era. There's usually fastball swung on and popped up over to first. It's going to be caught by the first baseman, Nakamura, and that is going to retire Yamaguchi for the third out of the inning. I'm going to come back and give you my thoughts on that and also on bait and switch type models when we come back in just a minute, because that's what I think is going on. It's the old bait and switch. They got you hooked and then they make the switch. And you got nothing to do about it unless you decide to move yourself somewhere else. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. It is a 0-0 ball game. We appreciate you guys for being here, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to the bat for the Hawks here in the top of the second inning. We've got Yanagamachi, Imamiya, and Galvis to come to bat here. I'm going to add on to some of the thoughts and the comments that I was mentioning too in the last half inning. When I was over in coaching in Europe a number of years ago, we had a women's professional basketball team in the city where I was living. And I pretty much knew all the gals on the team and the coaching staff. And there was a fastball taken by Yanagamachi for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yanagamachi playing in his first game of the 2023 season. So no statistical line on him as the 0-1 is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-2. And the gals that we saw play, they had a couple of American girls on the team, and there was a Czech girl and a British gal, and then, of course, a bunch of other players. And we would go and support. We'd go and watch. And it was good basketball. They ended up winning the German Cup that year. It was fun to see, and they played very, very well as that fastball is chopped into the ground. Foul on the first base side, and the count remains at 0-2. But fast forward to 2019, I was having dinner in Czech Republic, and I went into this restaurant, and the restaurant was kind of where they would bring people in. It was almost like a, you'd be sitting next to somebody you didn't know and whatever else. And by happenstance, I sat with a couple of German girls. There was a fastball that missed down, and the count is 1-2. And one of the girls happened to be playing or had played in the German Bundesliga, the basketball league as well. And we were chatting a little bit, and I forget where she played. I forget, her name and the whole piece. But her point is when she watches basketball, she wanted to watch the men play as there's a fastball that misses up. And I said, well, why is that? She says, well, because they're just so athletic. And I said, when you watch sports, whatever level it is, Major League Baseball, the NPB, right down to Little League level, you can get good baseball and good sport at all levels of play if you accept what level of play you're watching. And there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. But to her point, she was saying just the athleticism of the athletes, especially at the NBA level, as there's a fastball ticket for a called third strike. And Yana Gamachi has gone on strikes for out number one, and that is going to retire him for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Kenta Imamiya. So it's not that I don't necessarily choose to watch it. I certainly want to watch women's. I like the Women's World Cup. I like watching women's tennis at the top levels of the game. Very, very good. But then there's certain things that you can't sell me the bill of goods watching certain sports that I'm not interested in that are filling up our television time. As it is 1 ball and no strikes here to Imamiya. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 2-0. Our friend Gracie says, to your point you're making earlier, rather than pulling programming for less popular women's sports, you'd be in for men's sports and women's sports networks side by side on TV. As that fastball comes in for a called strike, and the count now is 2 balls and 1 strike to Imamiya. And absolutely, if you had their own platform, as there's a fastball that misses upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. And to me, it's really not even about the gender issue. It's, you look at it, and certainly on the North American side, it also comes down to the revenue. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and that's going to be ball 4. Imamiya's going to get himself a base on balls. And the best example of that is the college sports. In college sports, you've got the schools at the NCAA Division I level, some of the big schools that bring a lot of money into their program because of their football programs. And at the same time, it props up all the other programs that are there at the school that may not be as good. And that's sometimes on the women's side for their sports, and also sometimes on the men's side for some of their lesser tier sports. So how many people are going out to watch men's tennis? Or how many people are going out to watch, certain other types of sports that may be offered, like cross country? As that fastball misses down, and the count is now 1 ball and no strikes to Freddie Galvis. Galvis hitting .250 on the young season with no homers and 1 RBI. There's a fastball swung on and is fouled away over on the third base side, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. And Mick says catching college softball on ESPN. Yeah, college softball, like watching the women's softball is actually, in my opinion, it can be quite exciting. And that there, if you're going to promote some of the sports, as that fastball is swung on and fouled away, it's going to reach the seats on the third base side. That to me is something of greater interest. Obviously, being a cousin to baseball, softball it is, I would 100% tune into that. And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. Gracie says, what I mean is ESPN men's sports on channels 140 to 143, and then do the women's sports on 144 to 147, 100%. Give the people the choice to be able to watch it. This is the golden era of television, and nobody's watching it. I mean, the amount of era that we have here is there's a ground ball hit to the second baseman. They got the runner hung up. Oh, what a nice play here. Nakamura was able to get the ball. He got the runner, Imamiya, hung up between first and second. They threw to first to get Galvis. So that's going to be the first end of the double play. Then Seiya Nui gets the runner in a rundown, and they're able to retire Imamiya for the third out of the inning. So that's going to go in the books as a 4-3-6 putout, and that is going to end the inning here. Very unique play. Good heads-up base running, actually, by the runner Imamiya to try to prevent the double play, as he didn't want to run into the tag, and that's where we stand here. Well, no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We'll come back and give you our social thoughts of what's going on tonight around the world of sports and their sports programming on TV as we watch both the Hawk and Marine mascots shoot T-shirts into the crowd. We'll be back in just a minute, everybody. Appreciate y'all for being here. And Steve Rademacher's in the house tonight, too. So be sure to check him out when you get an opportunity.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I gotta go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out later after the ball game, as he's got all kinds of entertainment for your listening pleasure. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up to bat. It's going to be Hisanori Yasuda, Seiya Inoue, and Toshiya Sato to come to bat. For Yasuda, he is hitting .268 on the young campaign. He's got a homer and 5 RBIs. This game here, 26 pitches for the starter Ozeki in his first inning of work. As we said, it was 30 plus for Tanichi in his. And Tanichi was lucky to get out of that inning without having to give up more pitches in the second based on that double play. First pitch is a fastball that misses outside to Yasuda for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Programming notes, we will be back on the airwaves again later this week. And I was looking at the possibility and potential of doing some Central League games midweek. So if you guys are going to be up in the middle of the night, be sure to come and check us out, as that breaking ball missed down for 2-0. We'll make some of those a game time decision, as the fastball is going to miss just upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-0. I'd like to play with it a little bit, but I do think we can possibly run a couple of those Central League games in the midweek out. I would want to do it as a test run because I'd like to get Trevor Bauer's first start when it is announced. As the 3-0 is on the way, and there's a fastball that misses inside, and Yasuda is going to be aboard with a leadoff walk here to start the second inning. I guess when you're on the topic of sexism, I may as well have Trevor Bauer front and center on that one. But on top of it, he's got a female agent. So Rachel Luba obviously is a cutting edge and leader, not just as an agent, but also as an influencer on the internet. She's got quite an active presence, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok. And she is obviously playing a very important role in a man's sport, representing Trevor Bauer. So that is going to bring Inoue to the plate, who's batting .200 on the season with a homer and 4 RBIs. And there's a breaking ball that misses catches the outside corner for a called strike. Counts 0-1. A little slow with the right hand was the home plate umpire going up. He was probably just as shocked that it was a strike as much as we were. So no balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to be a single for Inoue. And that's going to put Yasuda over to second. And the Marines have got something going here with runners at first and second. Our friend Josh S. is in the house tonight. He says, I think it'll be better for money for the women's sports as they continue to get more views. Basketball for women is an example. Love this year's March Madness tournament, and we'll definitely follow. I'm going to give you another thought on this as we're carrying on with this is one of the things specifically with the grassroots sports, encouraging more girls to play baseball has been a mandate here in at least north of the border in Canada. And it seems to be taking off a little bit more in the United States as well, encouraging girls to play. When you think of soccer and you think of basketball, both are what I would call gender neutral sports. A lot of women play basketball. A lot of women play soccer. And so when you have children and your children are growing up as they fake a throw to second base and getting back in time as the runner, my opinion on that is that if you have a son or a daughter and the mother has played soccer or the mother has played basketball, usually they gravitate to the sports that they know. Well, if the girls are moving away from softball, or if they're not playing baseball, they maybe as a parent, they're less encouraging to put their children into those sports that they don't know. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Sato. So that being said, I think it's a great thing when you have that type of stuff. And you get the opportunity for the girls to be able to play, and it's supported. And certainly when it comes later on in life, 20 years from now, the women and the girls will be more supportive of their children playing baseball than maybe soccer or basketball or volleyball or tennis. As that breaking ball misses down, and the count is now 1-1. Friend Gracie said she wanted to play baseball in Alabama, but they would never let you. Had to play softball. And that's exactly what it is here. We've had some young ladies that had wanted to play baseball, and people would say, oh, it's not a girls' game. Well, there have been a couple of girls out of this area that actually got to represent Canada in the Little League World Series over the last 10, 15 years. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. That were good enough to be on the team, and not just good enough to be on the team, good enough to play at a very high level at that particular age level, and to be thrust into the national TV spotlight, not just here, but also in the United States. Friend Mick says Trevor Bauer does content with some guys on YouTube called Momentum. Yeah, we've seen that. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Sato. There's a lot of people that are doing their content and creating that, and they have quite the following, that is for sure. So with everything where there is a negative, you can also find the positive in some stuff. And as I say, I think that encouraging more girls to play sports. One of the other things that the American women's national softball team was doing a number of years ago is they were going out and actually recruiting girls who had played baseball. There's a fastball ticket called strike. The count is 3-2. And the reason they found at the younger age levels that the girls who were playing baseball, their throwing was better than the girls who were being trained as softball players. And so they would want to recruit women with baseball backgrounds and then convert them over into the softball players, especially when they got into their mid-teens or late teens at that point, which was an interesting strategy. Here's the 3-2, and it is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up down the first base line. It is drifting into foul territory, and it's going to be room, and making the catch is the first baseman, Kurihara, tagging at second, but returning back to the base is the base runner, Yasuda. He thought about maybe challenging the arm of the first baseman, Nakamura, but that is going to retire Sato for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up Seiichiro Oshida. Our friend Gracie asked the question about where can you get the Central League games from? Well, there is a couple of pieces to that. There are some gambling sites out there. I think that Alexander Leggett might be able to give you some insight. A couple of people were talking about it last week that I'm going to investigate, that if you go and you become a member of their page, they actually will produce the live feed of some of those games. There's a breaking ball that misses down to Oshida, and that count is quickly 1-0. That's one of the spots that we would look. Live QQ is another one, but I'm not really sold on the reliability of being able to call stuff off of there because they've had their challenges this year. And so that is that's the bit of the problem. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted foul down the left field line. That's going to reach the seats. Count is going to be 1-1. Alexander says, yeah, from questionable and low quality pirated streams, sometimes yes, sometimes not so. I mean, sometimes you just have to be able to navigate around to get some quote unquote legally. But when you have to find some of the Central League, that becomes a little bit more of a challenge. I was thinking of maybe calling the Central League games live when I'm in Japan. I should do it live while I'm at the game. Do it on my phone. That would be entertaining. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2 on Oshira. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Shotgun Shell says the Little League World Series had a couple of dominating girl pitchers. There was the girl from Philadelphia. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She had a good run there. I want to say that was in 2017, about 6 years ago. She was really Monet Davis, I think her name was. She was as good any girl pitcher as there has been in the Little League World Series. As there's a fastball that comes inside and it hits Oshira, and he is going to load the bases. So 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Lefty Ozeki tried to come inside. He hits him. That's going to put the bases loaded, and that's going to bring up Hiromi Oka. Gracie Lynn says it's a silly question, but why don't the Central League and Pacific League work together to make a giant streaming service? Gracie, that is talking sense. And right now you've got what Alexander Leggett says is the Central League are old-fashioned and want their stuff dominated by the old cable networks. On the flip side of the coin, you've got the Pacific League, which is what we would call the younger league, the American League version, or the junior circuit of Japanese baseball, and they're a lot more progressive in their ways in terms of how they manage different things. And as far as I'm concerned, it would be better off if they took the Major League Baseball model or the model of the Pacific League and made it all as one. But I think the Giants and the Carp and some of those teams figure they're sitting on a cash cow, so why make any changes when you're already raking in the dough? Well, the bases are loaded with 1 gone. It's going to bring the 9-hole hitter Hiromi Oka to the plate. He's batting 200 on the early going. He's got a homer and 2 RBIs as the lefty Ozeki is ready to deliver. And it is a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the first base line. Giving chase is the first baseman Nakamura, but he's going to watch that one drift into the seats. And the count is quickly 0-1. Alexander says, hit a dinger, Hiromi. It would be a hero. I think the ball would have to hit the bat for Oka. He's not exactly the most gifted power hitter. Gracie Lynn said, I wanted to play baseball because she had a good arm, quite strong. I found the baseball easier to hold and throw it accurately to get strikes. I wish I could put this into the chat. In fact, I might be able to do it. As there is a fastball that misses down and the count is 1-1. There were a couple of girls, I have the photo of them, a couple of young girls that used to come to my programming, and they were playing in a Canadian championship one time, and there was a fastball swung on and fouled away. I just don't know if I can put the picture up in here. I have to find it. If I add it as an overlay, we'll see if I end up having it here or not. And it's just that it's timely that we're talking about it. I do have it. So let's see if this is going to work. We'll pop this in here, and I'll see if this is going to work here in a second. You guys will get it up on your screen. They had an entire campaign up here north of the border. Both of these gals were on our provincial team. And there always used to be the commenting that girls did not throw the baseball very well. In some ways, that's kind of true because of their physical strength at younger ages. Their bodies work a little bit differently. As this is going to be the 1-2 pitch coming up here to Oka. And there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oka goes down looking here for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Taiga Hirasawa. So not quite the hero that you were looking for. Here are the 2 young ladies I'm referring to in the campaign that they had. If you could see it, and it says, you wish you could throw like a girl. And of course, these were 2 provincial team players. Of course, I'm sitting in the background here. And there you have it there, as the 2 young ladies are in front and center. And back to that. Anyways, it was an entire campaign that they had here, and it was to try to get the girls, encourage them to play. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Taiga Hirasawa. But that's always been sort of the knock, or at least the perception. And the girl that was pictured on the right there, they used to say that if a woman could throw 80 miles an hour and hit on the radar gun at the Women's World Cup, that would be a big deal. As there's a fastball ticket for a called strike, because in the world, there weren't too many women who could bring it up to 80 miles an hour. That was the equivalent of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball for the men's league, or for the Major League Baseball. And the one girl that was pictured there, she could get it up into the upper 70s. So one of the top arms, not just in our country, but in the world, period. So no balls and 2 strikes. And here's the offering to Hirasawa. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you get that opportunity to play, go play. We can always have more people playing baseball. You can never have enough. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Hirasawa. Ozeki ready to deliver again. And the pitch is ready on its way. And it is a breaking ball that misses down. That is going to run the count now even to 2-2 on Hirasawa. Just get this feeling that neither of these guys are going to be around here. Our friend Shotgun Shell says that's smoking with the mound that close. Well, the women at the adult level play the men's distance at 60 feet 6 inches and with the 90-foot base paths. And that's something else that, I think in some ways where women's softball is a very fast game, where women's baseball really is not. And I say that because playing at the 90-foot diamond, the game looks rather slow. They would almost be better served playing at 80 feet and 54 for the mound distance of that of what would be equivalent of bantam or junior boys levels. As there's a fastball that misses down in a way it's going to run the count to 3-2 on Hirasawa. Our friend Mick says he wants to do our commentary, but from the smoker's perspective. I'm sure that would be entertaining. Our friend Gracie said for her, she was always on the smaller side, and when she was younger, had a hard time getting the ball to hit into the hands properly. It's not out of the question. You see that with boys and girls who are wanting to play baseball. Some people have just small hands. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, drifting back underneath it and making the catch in front of the warning track is going to be the center fielder, Makihara, and that is going to do it as Hirasawa is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. They load the bases, do the Marines with 1 out, but failed to cash in. There were no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. Your score is the Hawks nothing and the Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. We appreciate y'all for listening in tonight as we are in the mood for talking about social stuff. Crazy on Last Rouse Baseball's YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are just returning to this one live here as we have to update our stream a little bit as we are finding that we're a little bit struggling or a little bit lagging. It is going to be the batters coming to bat. It's going to be Takuya Kai, then it'll be Nakamura, and then it will be Kondo, the 9-1-2 hitters in the order. We're already behind 1 strike here to Takuya Kai, so he is in the hole at 0-1. So just hang tight, everybody, as we refresh our feeds here, as we are struggling just a little bit. As it looks like Kai is gone for the first out here. We didn't catch on how Kai was retired. We'll have to get that one up for you in a second. Is going to bring up the top of the order in Akira Nakamura. Our feed was a little bit down and we had to make the adjustments, but we got it back. Here we are. There's a first pitch fastball that misses inside for ball one. The count is 1-0. Fred Shotgun Shell says he chanted Chiba a few times this year. It says tonight his money is with the Hawks. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Yeah, it's not always hard. I don't want to tell you where to put your money here because it hasn't been a very good job of our picks this year as the fastball misses and the count is now 2-1. Our prognostication of NPB baseball has been on the light side so far as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. But, with one big night, we can rebound and get ourselves right back into the driver's seat again. Here's the 2 on the way. It's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the left field line. And the count now still is going to remain at 2-2 to Nakamura. Nakamura 0 for 1 tonight. He popped to the third baseman his first time up. As the 2-2 is on the way, it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. It's going to retire Nakamura for the first out of the inning. And so 1 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Kazuki Kondo. Scoring from around the NPB, it's 2-1 for the Bay Stars over the Carp now. The Carp have got a run back. Still nothing between the Buffaloes and the Lions. That game is in the bottom of the fourth inning. This game here, surprisingly, quite slow. This is the one that is laggard behind everybody else. Who knows, by the time this game gets finished, the game between the Giants and the Swallows might be getting going as the first pitch breaking ball misses upstairs for ball one. And the count is 1-0 to Kondo. So 1 ball and no strikes. The right-hander delivers again. There's a fastball that misses down, and that's going to run the count to 2-0. Our friend Mick says, I'm serious, though, MLB, NBA, but if I do KBO or NPB, I don't know the names. As there's a fastball that misses down. It's now 3-0 to Kondo. As we said, we didn't get how Takuya Kai was retired for the first out of the inning, and we'll get you that update here in a moment. As that fastball misses upstairs. And that is going to be ball 4 as Kondo is aboard with a walk. It was a ground out to shortstop, by the way, for Kai. As he ended up with a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. As we said, we lost our feed for that. We had to refresh it. One of my favorite ones on the literal translation from the English or Japanese to English on the Akira Nakamura strikeout, it was a whiff strikeout. In other words, a swing and a miss. There's a first pitch fastball delivered to Yuki Yanagita, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yanagita tonight is 1 for 1. He singled his first time up. He was stranded at second base. As the right-hander, Tanichi, ready to go again, and it is a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is now 1-1. We said the Achilles heel for Tanichi this year has been his walks. Tanichi entered the game with 14 2/3 innings pitched and 9 walks allowed. He's already walked 2 batters here in this one. And as their fastball swung on, this ball is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It's going to be a base hit. Stopping at second is the runner Kondo, and Yanagita has his second hit of the ball game. And again, the threat is coming with 2 outs, just as it was in the first, and that will bring up Ryoya Kurihara. Well, for Kurihara, he had a single in the first inning as he went back-to-back with Yanagita. Kurihara stepping to the plate. And that's the other thing here, too, is we get the first 2 outs quickly, and you think, here comes the 1-2-3 inning. And the next thing you know, it's back-to-back base hits, or a walk and a base hit in this case. So here comes the first offering to Kurihara. It's a fastball that swung through and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kurihara. Kurihara entered the ball game hitting .254 with that base hit. He's raised his average into the 260s. And here comes the 0-1 offering. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded into the 4-hole. It is fielded by Nakamura, and he throws to first, and that's going to retire Kurihara on a ground out 4-3. And he has gone for out number 3 here in the inning. While the Hawks threaten again. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Now moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning, your score is the Hawks nothing, the Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll give you all the action right after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the game. As we said, he's got all kinds of crazy stuff that he does there. Well, it is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order to come to bat. It'll be Yudai Fujioka, Shogo Nakamura, and Koki Yamaguchi. And they are going to be facing the lefty Ozeki here. 52 pitches in 2 innings for Ozeki. That's a recipe for disaster. As the first pitch breaking ball comes in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Fujioka is 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled in the first inning and he was stranded there. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into right center field. This ball is going to be trouble. It's going to get down. It's off the wall. Making the play is the center fielder. And that is going to be hauled back in by Makihara. And it's back-to-back doubles in this game for Fujioka as he has continued his torrid hitting pace with a leadoff double here to start the last half of the 3rd inning. Gracie says, any estimate when you're going to cover the next Lions game? It's a good question. I can kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at next week. She said her sister's partner yesterday was originally from Saitama, which is, of course, the home of the Cebu Lions. I'm going to take a quick peek. Sometimes the other thing is, too, is even though we put the games up in advance, we also sometimes will bounce away from the game if we get a good pitching matchup. Oh, and there's a attempted pickoff at second base. The ball is thrown into center field. Fujioka gets back to second base in time, but now he's thought about going to third, but he's going to return back to second. Ozaki's not going to be charged with an error on that one, but it was a little bit of a shoddy defensive play. As far as next weekend, looking at some of the games, and also the weather will play into things. So I do look at the forecast a little bit out. So the Lions are playing at home against Tohoku next weekend. And there is rain in the forecast not in the north of Japan, but certainly in the Tokyo region and other stuff. But because they play in the dome, we would lean to call something like that, as is Oryx at home next weekend. And they're playing Chiba. So it would be probably most likely that. I'll fade the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters as a breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Until the Fighters can start putting themselves a better product on the field, we'll try to fade them. And the Golden Eagles right now have been down at the bottom with them. And as much as I kind of enjoy calling the Eagles games, as that breaking ball is swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2 to Nakamura, I may consider staying off of their games for a bit until they get themselves sorted out. So the likelihood of us calling the Buffaloes and the Marines next week is probably greater than the Lions and the Golden Eagles. But again, we'll see how this matches up over the next couple of days with our time schedule, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and the count is 1-2. I am enjoying watching the Lions play this year. They have been playing some pretty good baseball. I also would like to see some more of the Hawks action, and of course, The series during the early part of the week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Hawks and the Golden Eagles will be going at it. There's a neutral site game on the Tuesday, which is something that we may consider calling. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded over to first base. It is fielded neatly by the first baseman, Nakamura, who steps on the bag. Advancing over to third is Fukuoka. So that's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. Good piece of hitting by Nakamura to stay inside the baseball to try to get the runner over. That is going to bring up Koki Yamaguchi, the left fielder. So it really doesn't give you an answer, Gracie, on when we're going to call that, but basically there it is one of those. Saitama is basically Newark, isn't it? New Jersey. Like what Jersey City or maybe Union is to New York City. Our friend Mick said the last about monetized, about commercials. Yeah, well, we don't get any money from either Matt or from Steve. They just do it for us to be able to fill the time. So they haven't said anything since then. We came back when we appealed the decline. We just said that's not for dollars and cents. And one thing that, at least for me, is why wouldn't you want to keep people talking about the stuff on the YouTube platform, whether it's another YouTube channel or not? That part I never understood. There's a fastball that misses up to Yamaguchi, and the count is now 2-0. One thing that was always the case. If they don't want you promoting other YouTube channels, why? I don't get that. Don't you want people being on YouTube more than they are on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else? That was one of the questions that came up. And because we're not getting compensated by Steve or by Matt, they're doing it as friends of the channel, as we are friends to theirs, as there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, I heard you talking about uniforms earlier, made him think of Colorado's horrific unis. Yeah, those City Connect uniforms. Well, they just announced one. I think it was for the Texas Rangers or the Houston. Yeah, Texas Rangers got one, and that's a kind of a cream color look. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. That's going to get the run in. Tagging at third is Fukuoka, and he is going to score. That's going to go down as a sacrifice fly to 9. And that's going to open the scoring as the Marines have taken the lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning, as they have broken the ice. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Hisanori Yasuda. Shotgun Shell says, let me fill the time. Where do I send? It's got to pass our inspection department there, William, if you are going to be able to do that. It's going to be a 30-second, 45-second, or 60-second clip. And you'll be more than welcome if it gets through the serious testers that we have here. The breaking ball that misses, and the count is, the breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yasuda. Yasuda walked his first time up. He was stranded at third when they left the bases loaded last inning. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. Gracie Lynn says, if you want to see some ugly uniforms, check out St. Louis City SC away kits in the MLS. I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to the MLS this year. We have a team in our midst here in Vancouver, and used to be a season ticket holder, but I have faded the Whitecaps for a while. There's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-2. And part of it is my own schedule just for work. There used to be a time where we weren't going 7 days a week. But when the business is busy, you have to work. It's all there is to it. Here's the 1-2. And it is a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Alexander Leggett says, if you could, there would be a ton of bot channels that did nothing but promote other channels. Yeah, and I see some of that goes on too, as the breaking ball misses down, and the count is now 3-2. I'll use an example to that. There is I don't know if anybody here has seen the power lifter Anatoly, the little guy who pretends he goes into the gym as a prank. He dresses up as an old man or dresses up but there's all kinds of like bot channels that go on for that. There's a fastball ticket for a called third strike, and Yasuda is gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Marines in their inning. But they do get a run in the inning on a hit. There were no errors, and there was nobody left the board. We are now through 3 complete. It is the Marines 1 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back a little bit with all the action after this. It's time for our friend Matt Hollis. And not only for that, it's time for me to get up and make myself another hot chocolate. So hang tight. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th in just a moment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming to bat. It'll be Taisi Makihara, Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and Kenta Imamiya to face the starter here in Atsushi Tanichi. 67 pitches in 3 innings for the right-hander as he delivers a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly no balls and 1 strike to Makihara. Makihara tonight had grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. And the 0-1 on the way, it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. I would have to do a quick count to find out what the ball-to-strike ratio is here. I'd have to say that Tanichi has not disappointed on his abilities not to throw strikes. There's a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. As I do a quick take on it, I would have to say he's probably about 55% strikes as the 1-2 is on the way, and the hitter Makihara swings at a split finger pitch and fouls it away. That would have been a ball as well. If I do the quick ball count, he had 10 in the first inning. He had 7 in the second inning. As there is a fastball swung on and missed. And Makihara is gone for out number 1 here in the 4th. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. It looks like he had 8 there. So it looks like he had 25 of the 67 pitches were balls. So maybe a little better than what I anticipated. Maybe he's 60% if I had to do the quick math. As there's a first pitch fastball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yanagamachi. The right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Right-hander ready to go out again, and the pitch is on its way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. For a rainy weekend here, or a lot of rain in the Pacific Northwest, it is definitely a evening where there is lots of action going on in, around, and about. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. It's in the dirt, and it is going to be a 2-3 put out as Yanagamachi's gone for out number 2. So 2 gone, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. And Imamiya here strides to the plate. He has 1 base on balls this year, or in this game. He's hitting .222 on the season, and the first pitch is a fastball that just misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Gracie says she watches the Whitecaps a little bit this year. following them loosely. I've had a hard time watching anything or keeping up with them. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Much like the Vancouver Canucks, had a hard time watching them this year. They were not a very good hockey team. Lots of turmoil. Considered to have the worst ownership in the National Hockey League. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-1. Traded their captain. Check that. The count is 3-0 to Imamiya. So 3 balls and no strikes as the umpire calls time and gives us a chance to reset. So 3 balls and no strikes. And here comes the pitch. It's on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now 3-1 to Imamiya. Again, the right-hander ready to deliver, and it is a fastball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-2 to Imamiya. Well, this is the point here where we've talked about before is Tanichi has retired the first 2 batters of the inning. Is he going to be able to put the third one away, or does he allow the hit? It's happened every inning here except for the second where he gave up the hit to the second batter, and that's going to be a fastball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. It's going to be the 3rd free pass he's issued today. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Freddie Galvis. Well, for Galvis, he's hitting .250 on the season. He's got himself grounded into that weird double play the last time up. It's a good piece of base running by Imamiya, who tried to stay out of the double play. As they flip over and Imamiya goes diving back. You've got to keep your eye on the shortstop for the Hawks. I think this could be a position where he could try to take a bag here as the pitch is on its way. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the left field line, but it's going to reach the seats. The count goes to 0-1 on Galvis. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Gracie says the Caps are a surprise this year. The upgrade in goal has done more than people thought. Yeah, a lot of the team, I can't even tell you some of that stuff. It's hard for me to pay attention to some of that stuff this year. I used to know their team from top to bottom. There is a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Of course, used to know a lot of the players too. We used to see them work out at their training facility right next door to ours. And get to know some of the players back in the day. Even some of the coaches we would come in contact with as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. That's going to retire Galvis for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here in the top of the 4th for the Hawks. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving here to the bottom half of the 4th inning as Ozeki has completed his warm-up tosses. It has not been an efficient night for either of these 2 pitchers. 68 pitches through the first 3 innings of work for him. As we are ready to get this one back underway, it is going to be Seiya Inoue to lead it off. He'll be followed by Toshiya Sato and Seiichiro Oshira. That'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the batting order. And here's the first offering. It's a fastball delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Inoue tonight is 1 for 1. He had a single his first time up. As the lefty Ozeki rocks into the motion and he kicks and delivers. And it is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. One thing I will have to say about Major League Soccer is that their business model, you have to tip your hat to them how they've gone about doing it. Just the growth of that league is, from a business standpoint, pretty amazing to watch. As a breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 2-1 to Inoue. You figure they started with 10 teams back in, I believe, 1995. They shrunk it to 8, and now it's up to almost 30 teams. There's a fastball that is swung on. This ball is lined down the left field line. It's into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Rounding first and heading to second, it is Inoue. The throw comes in, and it's not going to be there in time, as Inoue is going to get himself a double. That's his second hit of the ball game for the big fella, as he lumbers into second base. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Toshiya Sato. Friend Gracie says she's got really invested, knows more things about more leagues than any sane person should. So runner at second is Inoue, and Sato strides to the plate. He's 0 for 1 in this one. He popped out to the first baseman his first time up. He has 4 for 34 on the season. He has really struggled at the plate. And so when we are ready to get going here, it is the inside spaghetti move by Ozeki that chases Inoue back to second. Why he's concerned about Inoue at second, I have no idea. So here comes the first offering as the lefty delivers. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Sato. Gracie says they've done a great job at growing it. Even the Europeans are starting to speak highly about it. Yeah, I would have to say it's probably a lower tier of a top 10 league, as there's a fastball that misses outside and the count is 1-1. But still, they're getting a lot of aged veterans from the European leagues to come over. Helps help the tickets as well. Good business model when you bring in the Beckhams and the Frank Lampards of the British League and some of the Italian players at the twilights of their career, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and the count is 2-1. You bring some of those big names in at the end of their career, plus the domestic players that the Americans have been developing. Some of the American players and athletes, they're some of the top players in the world. They're coming out of the United States, not just out of MLS, but Americans that are playing. And I often wondered if soccer became the number one game in the United States, how it would dominate the rest of the world. There's a fastball swung on it, is hit foul down the first base line. That count's going to run the count now to 2-2 on Sato. He was just out in front of that one, and he hooked it foul just past the first base umpire. He was standing in foul territory. Yeah, and the other part about the soccer is just how they've done it in a very quick manner. It's been amazing on how they have really been able to grow that game in a short time. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that comes inside, and it hits Sato. And Sato is going to go down, hits him in the shoulder. And he's going to go over to first base, and the drama is ensuing here. This part here is they've taken this out of soccer. He's been hit by the pitch in the right shoulder blade. It's a breaking ball, for crying out loud, and you'd think that he's been hit with a bullet. Just the theatrics. Get to first base and let's get on with it. I mean, I do feel unfortunate. If it was a heater, a fastball right in the spinal cord, yeah, you got to feel for the guy. That was a breaking ball that hit him in the shoulder blade, and he's making a meal of it. So that's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out, and it's going to bring Seiichiro Oshira to the plate. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. So runners at first and second. There is nobody gone, as the left-hander Ozeki is ready to deliver, and squaring to bunt is Oshira, and they throw over to second base. And again, Inoue is back in time. They're keeping the big fella close. One thing that baseball has failed upon is to grow the game like the basketball and the soccer has done at the grassroots level. You think of basketball and soccer, basketball and other sport over the last 30 some odd years, going into countries that have never had the sport or haven't really played the sport, and just growing the game. You figure 40 years ago, the sport of basketball was basically, a North American game and a little bit in Europe. And there is a ball that's delivered. It's bunted. It's down the third base line. Ozeki fields it and he throws to first. That's a great bunt there by Oshira. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, 1-4 for the putout. It's going to advance Inoue over to third. It's going to bring Sato to second. And the Marines have it threatening again as it brings Hiromi Oka to the plate. Our friend Alexander Leggett says those guys are way more overpaid than the NFL stars. Yeah, there you go. Well, runners are at second and third as the runner Sato is at second. Inoue is at third. There is one gone here, and it brings Hiromi Oka to the plate. Oka batting 200 when he entered on the season. He's 0 for 1 as he struck out looking. His average has fallen to 190 with that first at bat. And the lefty here kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Ozeki needs to find a way to finish off the hitter here. As the top of the order in Taiga Hirasawa waits on deck. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into foul territory on the first base line. Racing over, having room to make the catch is the first baseman Nakamura. And so two really unproductive at-bats here for Oka tonight. Striking out with the bases loaded his first time up, and then with runners in scoring position here, popping out to the first baseman. That's 2 away now, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Taiga Hirasawa. Well, Hirasawa tonight is 0 for 2. He has flown out to center field both his times up. He bats from the left side against the left-handed throwing Ozeki. Leans in and gets his sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. And here's the first offering on the way. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We're definitely going to be making some more calls. We're probably going to call some major league games starting. We thought about doing some games this past week. Just there's been some time, but I've got a couple of days off. I've got Monday and Tuesday off. Don't have to be anywhere till Wednesday evening, really, in the daytime. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field for a base hit. That's going to plate a runner from third. And holding at third base is the runner, Toshiya Sato, on the RBI single by Hirasawa. And that's going to put the scoreline now to 2-0. RBI single by Hirasawa, and the Marines have padded their lead. Inoue crosses the plate. Stopping at third is Sato. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Yudai Fujioka. Well, Fujioka steps to the plate. He is 2 for 2 tonight. He's doubled both his times up. He also scored the first run of the ball game for the Marines. We're talking about doing the major league ball games, and we haven't had a ton in which, or we haven't done anything really yet. But looking to make a couple calls. We won't be doing anything Monday as there's no day games on the Monday. I say a couple of days off, a couple of days that we don't physically have to be anywhere. At least in the early part of the day, there's a first pitch fastball that is missing upstairs for ball one, and the count is 1-0. As I look at the MLB schedule for the week on Tuesday, the 25th, Again, there's no day game, so we would probably be precluded from that. But on Wednesday, the getaway day, balling the Tigers and the Brewers possibly as a potential game. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1 on Fukuoka. That would be a game that we would have interest in calling. Another game that might get our attention could be the Red Sox and the Orioles. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to be delivered as the lefty holds set. And now Ozeki kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Yankees Twins, possibility of that one. But probably lean toward the Tigers and the Brew Crew. Be a 1:40 Eastern start. 10:40 on the Pacific Coast. That's Wednesday, April the 26th. That may kick off our Major League Baseball action for everything that we would do with regards to that. And then we would flip it back over because it looks like that the Braves and the Marlins are playing on Thursday. That might be a game that we'd be interested in doing, a division rival going head-to-head against each other. But we'll also look for the pitching matchups on that. Another one could be the Mariners and the Phillies. Certainly watch the Mariners enough out here. I have some good insight onto that group. So here comes the 2-1 offering to Fukuoka. Ozeki delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Gracie says, whatever I do, don't pick the Braves. As the Braves fan, they can't win at home this year. 10-2 on the road, yeah. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. And Fukuoka's got to get himself a walk. That's going to load the bases. And Ozeki's in a whole host of trouble here. So the runner at third is Sato. The runner at second is Hirasawa. And the runner at first is Fukuoka. That brings Shogo Nakamura to the plate. Well, Nakamura is 0 for 2 in this one. He has struck out and he's grounded out to first. As he steps in here with the score 2-0, they've got to try to blow this thing open here. Gracie says, isn't it bases loaded? It's 2 of the last 3 innings. They loaded it up in the second. There's a breaking ball that just misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nakamura. Nakamura, as we said, really struggling out of the gate this year as he entered the game with a 156 batting average. And here comes the 1-0 as the pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball delivered for a called strike. The count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. One drawback tonight that we're looking at is that it is a bit of a tough feed tonight. It's not the best feed that we've had. There's a fastball that is swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and the count is 1-2. Don't know if it's at our end or if that is at the end of the other part that is being fed there. But either way, we are struggling a little bit with our feed. So here comes the 1-2 offering to Shogo Nakamura. The pitch is on its way. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul down the right field line. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. Nakamura, another good job trying to shorten up his swing, staying inside the ball. Able to fight that one off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crowd is in good form here as they're waiting on the offering here from the lefty Ozeki. As he kicks and fires, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The lefty ready to go back at it again. As he leans in, does Ozeki, gets his sign from his catcher, Kai. Waggling the bat is Nakamura. Now the lefty works to the set position. Here comes the 2-2. It's a swung out straight back, and that's going to keep the count at 2-2. Just as a side note, if you're interested or you like the slow motion videos, we do a lot of that stuff. Our friend Shotgun Shell wanting to know about the cheerleaders here. And Shotgun Shell, as he asked that question, I think it's 8 of the 12 teams do. And a lot of them have their own names. Yes, they do. Our friend Gracie Lynn asks, philosophical question, as a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2 to Nakamura. Why do you think batting averages are so low in the NPB this year? I know they didn't implement MLB rules, but it seems like a large difference. Well, last year we noted early on that the home runs were down in the NPB. I haven't really tracked that so much this year. Batting averages being down. It is true. There were some teams, certainly the Swallows were absolutely horrendous as a group. They were batting below 200. I would have to say the quality of the pitching has certainly gotten better in the NPB. There's a fastball swung on, it's lifted foul, and the count remains at 2-2 to Nakamura. Nakamura making this a real difficult at bat here for Ozeki, as this is going to be pitch number 9 coming up. Ozeki's had a couple of marathon battles here with the hitters. So 2-2 here to Nakamura. As he waggles his bat. As the lefty is ready to make the offering, but now he steps off the back side of the rubber. So here comes the 2-2 offering as the lefty works set and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. Well, the runners are going to be on the move here, as Ozeki is got himself in the pickle that he's in. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 gone here. And Shogo Nakamura is going to get something fat to hit, that's for sure. As Ozeki nods in agreement with his catcher, Takuya Kai. And now he's going to step off the backside of the rubber, and we're going to reset ourselves and do this all over again. This game here has been very, very sluggish tonight. And considering it's only a 2-0 ball game, here comes the offering now. The pitch is on its way. It's a fastball swung on and another one fouled away. And the battle continues. Scores from around the NPB. It is a 3-3 ball game between the Carp and the Bay Stars, just as it is a 3-3 ball game between the Eagles and the Fighters. The Buffaloes have jumped out to a 2-0 lead on the Lions, and the Tigers have given away the lead as they are now falling behind to the Dragons 2-1. So it looks like our picks again are in jeopardy all the way around the NPB tonight. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung, and this ball is belted into deep right center field. Moving over on it is the center fielder, and that is going to be hauled in by Makihara, and that is going to do it here. The Marines played a run in the inning as they had a run on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We are now through 4 complete innings. Your score is Chiba 2 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. No score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the top of the 5th inning in just a moment. As we said before, we are giving you all the information between the Marines and the Hawks. We thank you guys all for stopping in to be here with us tonight. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. Looks like Andy Altman-Orr did a quick check-in. We appreciate you for popping in, and hopefully you're having a great day out on the town in Osaka. We'll be back here in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the fifth inning, and it is going to be coming to bat for the Hawks. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. That means Takuya Kai, Akira Nakamura, and Kensuke Kondo. You face the right-hander Tanichi, who delivers a first pitch fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kai. Takuya Kai tonight grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. In this one here. He bats from the right side, does the diminutive catcher. He's only 5'7" is what they list him at. But he is arguably one of the best defensive players in the NPB from behind the dish. So here comes the offering on the way from Tanichi. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And now the pitch is on the way, and it's going to miss as well, and that's going to run the count to 2-1. Well, it looks like Gracie is going to call it a night. We appreciate you for popping in here again tonight. And hopefully we'll see you during the week at some point as well, as there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch on the way, it is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 3-2. Friend Alexander Leggett talking about the parlays. Our friend The Living Room, when he pops in here, he likes to do a lot of that stuff. Here's the 3-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. And Kai is gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Akira Nakamura. Our friend Living Room, I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying about a certain parlays could really play into things. For example, if you're picking the Edmonton Oilers to win, and if you're picking Connor McDavid to get a point, as there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, when you're thinking about hockey, that's probably a pretty good bet. When he scores, the Oilers win. Or if you're picking the Oilers to win, usually he scores. There's another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-2 to Nakamura. But certainly that type of stuff I try to stay away from. There's just so many different angles. It's so difficult in which to have to look to try to place your nickels down on. I have a hard enough time picking these straight up bets. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-2 to Nakamura. Picking baseball is very, very difficult to do. It's certainly a challenge. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. That ball is going to get down for a base hit. Moving over to cut it off is Oka, and holding Nakamura to a long signal is the outfielder who gets the ball in quickly, and that'll bring up Kensuke Kondo. Alexander says exactly. He says the books know this and charge insane vig. They, for example, that parlay you mentioned would add an extra 20% or something awful. Yeah, absolutely. So runner at first is Akira Nakamura. Kensuke Kondo steps to the plate. One swing of the bat, this game could all be knotted up. And here's the pitch to Kondo. It's a breaking ball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Kondo tonight 0 for 1. He's also drawn a walk. His average is slotted in at 270 on the season. He's got a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. Our friend Fox 12 in here says he's got a 2-leg parlay. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-1 on Kondo. He says, obviously, the Chiba Lotte Marine game, and the other one is the Cebu Lions. Now time is called as they step out, and we'll do this all over again. 97 pitches here for Tanichi as he is approaching the 100 mark, and we're only in the top of the 5th inning. And here's the pitch on the way to Kondo. It's a fastball swung on. And did we call this or what? No, we didn't. It was a fly ball to right field, not deep enough. I thought that ball might have had some chance, but nope, didn't get under it enough and didn't hit it deep enough was Kondo, as that's going to be retired for the second out of the inning. I thought Kondo for sure may have had that one. He turned on that one, pull side. He just wasn't able to get through that one enough. That's going to be out number 2 here, and that'll bring up the DH, Yuki Yanagita. Fox 12 says he just walked threw 4 balls in a row and walked in a run. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1. I'm not sure which game that is, Fox 12. Are you referring to the Saitama Cebu Lion and Oryx Buffalo game? So here comes pitch number 100 on the way here for Tanichi as he checks the runner at first and now delivers. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Crowd is chanting for the Hawks. They have a good crowd in attendance down the right field line. The visiting crowd is giving their support to their club as the 0-2 pitch is ready to go. And Tanichi delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and that runs the count to 1-2. Tanichi trying to escape with his life here in the 5th inning. One would have to think that this will be the last inning of his work. He has really struggled in this one. As we talked about before, his base on balls has been the challenge. He's walked 3 hitters tonight. He's also scattered 3 hits as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. Yanagita, check that. He's got 4 hits tonight. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded foul down the first base line. That's going to keep the count at 1-2 to Yanagita, but Yanagita looks like he's going to have to get himself a new piece of lumber. Looks like he may have broken that bat or sawed him off on the hands. I think it was Dietrich Enns was going tonight for the Lions, and he is another one who has a hard time putting away hitters. He gets deep into counts. He's just not able to have that pitch to be able to dust off the hitter. It's always a bit of a battle. Here's the 1-2. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And it is a good block by the catcher, Sato, who gets up and throws to first. That's going to retire Yanagita. And you got to give a little bit of credit there to the starter, Tanichi. He has been an escape artist in this one. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 5th, and it looks like the Hawks are going to be making a pitching change. We'll be back here in just a moment, everybody, to give you that. Hawks going to the bullpen here in the 5th. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We're just going to take an extended timeout as the pitching change is being made, and we'll be back in 30. with all of the action. It is 2-0 for the Marines over the Hawks. We'll be right back in a few. Welcome back, everybody. We're an hour and 52 minutes deep, and there is going to be a pitching change here as the Hawks are going to the bullpen. They're calling on the right-hander, and it looks like it's going to be Matsumoto coming into the ball game as he is going to be taking over here. So for the lefty Ozeki, this is Hiroki Matsumoto or Yuki Matsumoto. Is going to be his 9th appearance of the year. He has yet to allow an earned run. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 7 Ks as he takes over to face the heart of the batting order for the Marines. And the first pitch delivered to Koki Yamaguchi as a fastball swung on, is lifted down the right field line. Drifting over is Yanagita, and he's going to make the catch. And with one pitch, we have one away. I checked that was Yanagamachi who's in right field making the catch. One pitch and one away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Hisanori Yasuda. Well, for Yasuda tonight, he is officially 0 for 1. He struck out looking his last time up, and he walked and was stranded at third back in the second inning. And the first pitch is on the way to him, and it's a fastball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Hisanori Yasuda. Right-hander ready to go again, and he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back on it, and he's got the room, is going to be the center fielder Makihara. So just like that, we've got 2 up and 2 away. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Seiya Inoue. Well, for Inoue, he is 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and a double. He also came around to score the second run of the ball game. The big fella here bats with 2 gone, and this is going to be the 4th pitch of the inning for Matsumoto. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Matsumoto has come in and just thrown strikes with ease. Our friend CV baseball card collector is in the house, and Alexander Leggett says he's passing out. We're right there with you. So 1 ball and 1 strike, as it is to Inoue. Right-hander Matsumoto ready to deliver again. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. And the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sato is waiting his turn on deck as Inoue ready for delivery. It's a fastball swung on, and it's line foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. Well, we appreciate Alexander for stopping in here tonight. Thank you, as always, for your support. As we are almost at what we like to call our Japanese halftime. That means when the 5th inning rolls around, that is where they take the extended break. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Inoue is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. That is going to do it here. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're going to take our extended timeout. We're going to put our little video on loop. We will be back here in just a couple moments, as it will be a pitching change as well for the Marines, as Tanichi's day is going to be over. So 2-0 for the Marines as we head to the top of the 6th inning. The cheerleaders are out in force. But we're going to put this little one on loop, and we'll be right back after a couple moments here with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. It's the extended innings break between the 5th and the 6th inning. We'll be back after this musical timeout with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is a 2-0 ball game here as the Marines have the lead over the Hawks as we move to the 6th inning. It was a leadoff double in the 3rd inning by Yudai Fukuoka. He was advanced over to 3rd on a groundout by Shogo Nakamura, and he was brought home on a sac fly by Koki Yamaguchi. That opened up the scoring as it gave the Marines a 1-0 lead. In the 4th inning, Seiya Inoue lit off with a double, and after Toshiya Sato was hit by a pitch, Seiichiro Oshida had a sacrifice bunt to move runners into 2nd and 3rd. And then it was Hiromi Oka popped out to 1st. It was the single by Takahiro Sawa that increased the scoreline to 2-0. And that is where we stand right now. There is going to be a pitching change here for the Marines as they are going to the bullpen. It is going to be Fumiya Ono who is coming on in relief, as he is taking over here for the starter Tanichi, who did not exactly have a scintillating start. Both of these starting pitchers, Ozeki and as well Tanichi, did struggle. So Ono ready to face the part of the batting order for the Hawks. This is going to be the heart of the batting order, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. And the first pitch delivered is a fastball swung on by Ryoya Kurihara. It's popped up into center field. Coming over underneath it and making the catch is going to be the center fielder Oka. So 1 up and 1 away. And that'll bring up the center fielder Taisi Makihara. Just a couple pieces on Ono. This is his 7th appearance of the year. He's worked 6 innings. He's allowed 5 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 3. He's got an ERA of 4.50 is where he stands so far on the season. So that is going to bring up the center fielder Makihara. And the first pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Ono gets his sign from his catcher Sato, and he works to the set position. Right-hander against the left-hander. He delivers. It is a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Our friend Ali asked the question, how delayed is this broadcast, or is it happening live? I'd say approximately about 7 seconds on the delay, maybe 8 seconds from the pitch I give you. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. There is a delay. The feed that we get is live, so you're probably even on the live feed, you're probably only a couple of seconds behind. So we had yesterday one of the fellas in the stream when we called the Buffaloes game against the Lions. He said we were approximately 1.5 pitches behind. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Akihara is down on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the right fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So that kind of gives you an idea of how far we're behind on the live feed. We appreciate you for stopping in here tonight, A. Lee. We're glad you could make it into the stream with us here. Well, that brings Tetsuro Yanagabachi to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both of his times up, once looking and once swinging, as he swings at a fastball and fouls that away down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So usually what a lot of people do is they sync their Japanese feed or their broadcast to our feed, as that is able to give them a listening pleasure that they can listen to the game in English and watch it on their stream. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field, moving back and backpedaling and making the catch is Yamaguchi. He didn't make it look easy, but he got the out for out number 3, and that is going to do it. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 5.5 innings. Your score is the Chiba Lotte Marines 2 and nothing for the Hawks. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Appreciate everybody for bouncing in here tonight. Oh, and we are going to have the race, as it looks like they have a Marines fan is going to race their sprinter, much like they do in Atlanta. We'll give you the result of that when we come back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Marines fan is going head-to-head against that flash runner that they have. And it was kind of funny because it looked like it was promising, but he was actually blown away by the runner. So far of the games that we've done with the Marines, we've seen this happen about 5 times. And only once has the fan beat the sprinter himself. And that is pretty much about it. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment in 30 seconds. With all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. We've got another pitching change as it's going to be Bando coming on in relief for the Hawks. A little bit of an eyebrow raiser as Yuki Matsumoto really did his job. He came in and pitched very well in his 1 inning of relief. And not only did he pitch really well in his 1 inning of relief as we are into the bottom of the 6th inning here, he only threw 8 pitches in that inning of work, and his night is already over. So Yugo Bando on in relief. He's going to be entering in. He's appearing in his 7th ball game of the year. He's worked 6 2/3 innings. He's allowed 5 hits, has walked none, and he has struck out 6, but he's allowed a couple of earned runs, and he's got an ERA of 2.70. So Bando on in relief, as he is going to be the 3rd pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. So Bando ready to face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order. It'll be Sato, Oshira, and Oka. Come to face the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. God is great says we're doing a good job. Well, we appreciate it. And we thank you for being here as that fastball misses down and in, and the count is now 2-0. We got a little sidetracked earlier in the game. We don't always do that. We got into some social topics. We're talking about the great age of television in North America that nobody's watching. All the great technique and all the excellent stuff, but people are not watching always the stuff. They're picking up their information elsewhere as the fastball is swung on and fouled away down the right field line, and the count is now 2-1 to Sato. It'll be in less than 4 months. We'll be on our way back to the land of the rising sun, and looking forward to that. As here's the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Sato. As the right-hander rocks into the motion, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a split-finger pitch swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field, coming hard and diving. Is he going to make the catch? No, he can't hang on, is the left fielder. And sliding into second base with a hustle double is going to be Sato. Oh, what a play there by the left fielder, Kondo. He had to come a long ways. He dove to try to make the catch. The ball ended up squirting away from him. And as that happens, the catcher, Sato, really digging hard out of the batter's box, able to slide into second base with a hustle double. And that is going to put a leadoff double here on in the 6th inning, and that'll bring up the DH, Seiichiro Oshira. Our friend God is great. Titus says, yeah, he's going to try to meet up. That'd be awesome when we were there. I'll have to sort it out. Maybe even try to catch a game, depending upon where you're at. If you're in the Tokyo area, or if you are in more of the Osaka area, depending on when I'm there. Either way, we can try to catch up. It'd be kind of cool to go to a game. So Seiichiro Oshira to the plate. He is officially 0 for 0 tonight. He was hit by a pitch and he had a sacrifice bunt. They do a inside move. And getting back is the runner at second base. So the right-hander leans in. He gets his sign from his catcher. And now he works to the set position. He checks the runner Sato at second. And here comes the pitch from Bando. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Oshira. Our friend A. Lee says he was just in Japan visiting there for the first time. Beautiful country. Got a chance to see Japan versus the world. Yeah, it's a absolutely great place to go. This will be my 3rd time. And you have to give your hats off to the Japanese folks, just the way that they live. There's a lot of innocence that is still left in the world, and a lot of it rises in Japan. There's a breaking ball missing down. The count is 2-0. Something that North Americans could probably use to take note of. You can pretty much walk anywhere you want and feel pretty much safe all the time. So here comes the 2-0 pitch as the right-hander Bando gets the sign from his catcher. He checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. It's going to be 3-0. Hiromi Oka waits his turn on deck. He's been an absolute rally killer in this one, and that is what the Hawks will be hoping for. On the flip side, the Marines are hoping for some productivity from their center fielder. So 3 balls and no strikes to Oshira. As the right-hander holds to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. And Oshira is going to get himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Hiromi Oka. As we said tonight, Oka has really struggled at the dish. He struck out in the 2nd inning looking, and that was with the bases loaded. And then with runners at 2nd and 3rd, he popped out to the first baseman with 1 out in the 4th inning. So he has stranded 5 runners in his 2 plate appearances. But it's a different pitcher and it's a different spot in the ball game, so he's got a chance for redemption, as he is 0 for 2 tonight. So Oka waggles the bat, ready here on the offering from the right-hander Bando. We'll quickly get you caught up on scores from around the NPB. Everything else is just pretty much silent. The only other score update was the Buffaloes have a 4-0 lead now over the Lions as Oka is squaring the bunt. They throw over to second base and diving back in time as the base runner. Still 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning for the Dragons over the Tigers. 3-3 with the Carp and the Base Stars. That's in the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, it's 3-3 with the Eagles and the Fighters. Are the Eagles going to get a chance to walk it off? Well, we're going to find out. As the right-handed hitting Oka waiting here for the first offering from the righty Bando. And now time is called as the catcher Kai steps out in front of the plate and he's able to give his signs. So now it's going to be runners still here at first and second. Oka still ready to square the bunt. And here comes the offering now from Bando. They're trying to keep the runner close at second, and now they bunt it, and it's bunted foul. It's going to run the count quickly to 0-1 on Oka. Well, I think they wanted to play on at second base because the shortstop, Ememiya, was calling for the daylight play to come in behind the runner. Bando had ended up delivering the ball to the plate. Now, at this particular time, you have to wonder, maybe the Marines would consider a slash play here if you can get Bando to be able to, or Oka to be able to pull the ball. So no balls and 1 strike to Oka. We'll see if he pulls back and tries to slash. Runner Sato establishes his lead at second. Bando works to the set position. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Again, they call for the daylight play. They bunt it foul down the third base line. And now the count is 0-2. So Oka having his struggles at the plate today. Our friend Shotgun Shell said there's a Japanese girl I watched live on TikTok. Yeah, there's quite a few different people that are out and around. Obviously, they've got their channels and they have their information. So no balls and 2 strikes as Oka is waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from Bando. The 0-2 is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and it's knife foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 0-2. I have to say that, at least in my opinion, that certainly the Japanese television, when you're over there watching, highly entertaining. Very, very entertaining to watch, even though, especially their game shows, they're a little bit different than what you see in North America. Can't always understand what there is being said, but they certainly provide some high-end entertainment. And here's the 0-2. It is a fastball that misses way outside, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Oka. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you're into slow motion videos, be sure to check out our latest on Marco Gonzalez. We posted that one up yesterday. We also have a lot of shorts if you're into the slow motion swings. Sometimes we got a lot of folks who come for the analysis or come for the visuals. As here's the 1-2 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the third baseman. And that is going to be put away by Ryoya Kurihara for the first out of the inning. And the tough day at the office for Hiromi Oka continues as he is now 0 for 3 and stranding a whole pile of runners. But that looks like it's going to be it. Well, it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change as the manager, we're going to have ourselves a pitching change. Bando's day is done. Taiga Hirasawa will be coming to bat. We're going to take a timeout. It's time for us to go get ourselves a little bit of a coffee here to keep us alive for you guys here. Our friend A. Lee says the commercials are also good. Game shows are awesome. Game shows are completely crazy, but it's amazing. You don't need to have to speak Japanese to understand the craziness of their little game shows. We'll be right back in just a moment, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys for being in here with us tonight as we are in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Score 2-0 for the Marines. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a left-hander. It is going to be Shinya Kayama coming into the ball game, and he is going to be taking over here as the fourth pitcher used by the Hawks in this one. The lefty is coming on in relief, and he's going to get the top of the order in Taiga Hirasawa. So Shinya Kayama on in relief as he will be taking over here. The record for him on the year, he's going to be working in his seventh ball game. He has 2 2/3 innings. He's allowed 4 hits, walked 2 and struck out 3, and he's got a sparkling ERA of 0.00. That is what we have, and Hirasawa steps to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Drove in a run with a single his last time up. He's also flied to center field twice. So Hirasawa will be facing the lefty here with the runners at first and second. And 1 gone. That base hit in the 4th inning, he's pulled his season average up to 200. He's got a homer and 5 RBIs. So the lefty ready to go back to work now is Kayama, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Kayama is a crafty left-hander. He's been around for a long time here in the NPB. Since 2012, he has been with Fukuoka his entire career. 67 ball games back in 2018 was the most he appeared in during a season. As the 0-1 is on the way, and it is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now even at 1. Mainly a bullpen arm. He has 1 career save. More of the situational left-hander. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Taiga Hirasawa, who bats with runners at first and second and 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Marines are looking to extend their lead. And the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and it is going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third, but going to be held at third base is the runner Sato. That's going to load the bases for Yudai Fujioka, who has been all over the base paths here tonight. So Sato is now the runner at third. Oshira is going to be the runner at second. And then Hirasawa, of course, with that single, is the runner at first. And Yudai Fujioka, 2 doubles in his first 2 trips to the plate, and then he walked his last time up. He's absolutely on fire. This is the hitter that you don't want at the plate in this situation. Arguably the hot in the Marine order. And for the Hawks, well, it's do or die situation here. This game could be blown apart with 1 swing of the bat. The infield is in. With those hits tonight, he's pulled his average up to 367 on the early going. And here comes the first offering from the lefty Kayama, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I say fastball loosely because the pitch came in at 127 kilometers an hour, which is not much more than a 70, I'd say about a 78 mile an hour fastball. But I don't know if he's got anything more in the tank there, does the lefty. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Fukuoka. Lots of slop being tossed up to the plate here by the lefty. I saw that CV Baseball Collector said that Ohtani didn't have a very good game today. I didn't even check the scores from around the league. I just took a look in to see that the Tigers lost to the Orioles, and I kind of flipped it out after that. Didn't pay too much close attention to what was going on. There's a fastball that misses just off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not as dialed in right now with the MLB as of yet. Trying to get myself into my own personal rhythm. Being able to watch some of the games, call some of the games. Haven't called a single MLB game yet this year. So here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's on the way. It is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. And the count is now at 2-2. As I said, we're eyeballing next week. Maybe get it going with the Tigers and the Brew Crew on Wednesday. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fukuoka. As he bats here against the left-handed throwing Koyama. As the lefty works to the set. Here's the 2-2. He kicks and delivers, and it is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow center field. Coming over on it is the center fielder Makihara, tagging at third and heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time. It's going to be a sacrifice fly by Fukuoka. He's going to get himself an RBI. That's the second out of the inning. It's going to plate the runner Sato from third, and that is going to increase the scoreline to 3-0 for the Marines. Nice piece of hitting there. Was almost an excuse me swing. I wasn't sure if it was going to be deep enough, but the fact that the outfielder had to race to his glove side, make the catch, and then throw across his body might have been the difference, as the catcher, Sato, is not the most fleet-footed of runners. But nevertheless, that is it. And it looks like we're going to get yet another pitching change, as Fujimoto has come out. We'll be back in just a moment, everybody. We got ourselves yet another change, as it will be Shogo Nakamura coming to the plate. But we've already seen enough of the lefty Koyama. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this, because Steve Rademacher has a relief pitcher in mind.
Hey guys, while the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports, you know, another Hollis build, check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game, peace out, and cheers!
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change here. It's going to be another right-hander coming into the game for the Hawks. And that is going to be Otsu, who is coming on in relief. This is going to be pitcher number 5 used by Fukuoka so far in this one. They have had to go to their bullpen. We'll get you the specs on him in just a moment, as we had to get up and get ourselves another cup of tea, as we figure we're going to be in here for the long haul. So that is where we have it here. So Otsu on in relief, the right-hander. Ryosuke Otsu is working in his 7th ball game. He has worked 7 2/3 innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He's walked none and struck out 2, and he's got an ERA of 4.70. The rookie is a second pick in the 2022 draft, as he is going to be taking over here. He's 24 years old, so not as young as some of the players that we see. That is what we have here. So Ryosuke Otsu on the mound to face the Marines 3-hole hitter in Shogo Nakamura. Nakamura 10 for 67 on the season. His average has dipped below the 150 mark. He steps in here ready to go. Right-hander against the right-hander. There's 2 gone here with runners on at first and second. And here's the first delivery from Otsu. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. So no balls and 1 strike. So Ely asked the question, says it's 2 outs and runners at first and second is where we have it. Only the runner at third was able to tag and score, as there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Nakamura. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-handed hitting Nakamura is really struggling here. As we said in the early going, he's looking to get himself moving again. He's a quality player. And so one would expect that over time that his numbers will continue to increase. He started slow last year, as I recall, for the Marines. And he finished a little bit stronger to make a respectable year as a breaking ball misses outside, and the count is now 1-2. He'll be followed by Koki Yamaguchi here, should he be able to get on. As the right-hander Otsu looks at the sign from his catcher, and now he works to the set position. And here comes the 1-2 offering. As he kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Moving back on it is the second baseman, Freddie Galvis, and he has to kind of leap to make the catch. And that is going to do it, as Nakamura is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here. 1 run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. Your score is the Marines 3 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back here in just a moment. We appreciate you guys for listening in. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. The Marines are going to their bullpen as we have a pitching change. It's going to be a right-hander, as it is going to be Luis Perdomo on in relief. We have seen Perdomo pitch a little bit this year, and he has been decent out of the pen. This is going to be his 9th appearance. He's worked 7 2/3 innings, allowed 9 hits. He has walked 1, struck out 8, and he has an earned run average of .352. So he is coming in here to face the Hawks in their half of the 7th inning. So Perdomo on in relief as he's just completed his warm-up tosses. And he is going to be facing the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order from the Hawks. That means Imamiya, Galvis, and Kai who he is going to be facing. So that'll be Amamiya stepping to the plate. He's 12 for 54 on the year. He's hitting .222. And the first pitch is on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. We have somebody jumped in and said that gave us a pretty good shot on our picks. He says we're pretty bad. You just hang teams on your dartboard and throw darts at them on our pick charts. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. Let's check that 1-2. Well, the point being is, and I kind of laugh about it a little bit when we're making our picks, is just to show exactly how hard it is to make your picks. And that is absolutely the case. Maybe it is the dartboard. As the split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Amamiya is down on strikes for out number 1. So 1 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Freddie Galvis. As Galvis will stride to the plate, he is 0 for 2. Tonight he's grounded into a double play, and he has struck out his 2 times up. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. I'd like to see somebody trying to make picks every single day, not just in the NPB, but maybe even in Major League Baseball, to be able to go and do it. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field. But moving over and making the catch is the left fielder, Yamaguchi, and that is going to retire Galvis for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Takuya Kai. But it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Kai here. He's going to be number 51. I'll get you the specs on him in just a moment. Looks like it is Seiji Ubiashi. So Ubiashi batting 182 this season. As he steps in here, and the first pitch from Perdomo is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Seiji Ubiashi in as the pinch hitter. There's another breaking ball that is in there for a strike, and the count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Ubiashi. So Perdomo looking to make it a quick, productive inning. And the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And 2 strikeouts of the 3 outs here retired by Perdomo, and that is going to do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. That is going to bring us to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Marines 3 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Our friend A. Lee says, ask the question, do you make bets with your picks? I'll be right back in just a moment. Hang tight, and I'll talk about that in a second. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to answer a couple questions. We'll cut the music time short on the in-between innings. So A.E. Lee asks, do you make bets with your picks? Sometimes we do, not very often, though. And I talk about it a little bit, and I say how hard it is to place your bets, whether it be in the Japanese league specifically, and I'll specifically talk about it. Number one is the lineups are not issued until somewhere between an hour or less before the game. So when I make my predictions in the early part of the day, that makes it very, very difficult. You don't know the lineups. You're trying to make your predictions, and you're trying to sort of almost, it's guesswork to say who you think is going to win based on the starting pitchers or the patterns of what's gone on in the few days prior. Second piece to this is Shotgun Shell says, he says there are two types of gamblers, losers and liars. So that's the other portion to this, is that you've got a lot of people out there that do like to talk and like to tell you what they win, but they never ever tell you what they've lost. And it's not everybody, but it's certainly enough people that when we see some of that stuff, it always makes you a bit skeptical. So do I bet on some stuff? Yeah, sometimes we do, but I'm not a regular gambler, and I go through my times, and I go through it for, I don't want to say fun, but it's almost like it goes in phases. And we play a little bit and then we don't do anything for a while. But there are some people that it's religion every single day. They are putting bets on something, and that's never been my thing. Pretty much, period. I mean, people will like to talk about, oh yeah, they do it on a regular basis, but we do a little bit more for fun. But again, it's almost like you've got money in which to spend. It becomes your entertainment, and you don't expect to win it. Heart of the batting corner coming up for the Marines, and they're going to be facing Yuki Samori, as Yuki Samori is coming on in relief. The right-hander is ready to deliver as he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So we used to get a lot of people coming into the streams last year, and always the question is who do you think is going to win tonight? And my answer was, well, I don't know. Not sure who's going to win tonight. You know, it's baseball. It's the hardest game in which to pick. There was a fastball swung on, and it's lined up the middle for a base hit. Yamaguchi's got himself a single, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, Hisanori Yasuda. Shotgun Shell says, you gamble long enough, you lose. You ever been to a casino? Gambling is entertainment, but what you can afford to lose, period. 100%. I totally agree with you there. You take that in and you go from there. I remember one time I was out with a couple of friends of mine, and we went to a casino here locally. I can't remember the last time I've actually been in a casino. Maybe it's probably been pre-pandemic. And anyways, a friend of mine, she came over from the island, and I went out with her and her niece. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is hit into deep center field. There's going to be room as it's playable in front of the warning track. Hauling it in is Makihara, and that is going to do it here for Yasuda. So one away, and that is going to bring up Seiya Nue. And my friend, she likes to play the slot machines, and her niece and I were walking around the casino just looking at stuff. We weren't really playing anything, or we had some money with us, but we weren't really playing a lot. And then we decided, okay, let's take $10 each and throw it into a slot machine. And we ended up pulling out, I think it was like $500 or $600 on literally the first roll we had. We couldn't believe it. We were just laughing. So we went back to see my friend, and she kept putting money into the slot machine and kept losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. And next thing you know, she was all finished. But we walked away, and anyways, we didn't spend the rest of the night. We ended up giving her some money, kept a little bit of money for ourselves, and walked out of there winners, I guess, if you call it that. But that doesn't happen very often, because usually you go in with the idea, I'm going to spend $100 until it's gone, or $200 or whatever you take with you. As there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count is 0-1 to Inoue. So no balls and one strike. Inoue 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a single, a double. He's scored a run, and he has struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. Our friend Shotgun Shell says a hit and run. Nice. Yeah, that's what it was. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. We couldn't believe it. We got the ticket out of the machine, and we walked back to our friend, and she just had a good laugh out of it. Fred A. Lee says, I know a lot of gamblers in his circle, and everyone loses. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it is grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is 1-2. Treats it like a business and no human emotion. And that's the hard part, is that, certainly in the sports, it is difficult in which to make your picks. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the right-hander Samori holds set. Now he fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Inoue continues swinging the hot bat. He's got himself a single. That's going to put runners at first and second, as Yamaguchi's going to stop at second with one gone. That's going to bring up the catcher, Toshiya Sato. Well, the Hawks here are in a problem. They're going to get their wings clipped here tonight by the Marines. And Inoue is going to come out of the ball game as he's getting a round of high fives. He'll be leaving for defensive purposes. His night's done with 3 hits, 2 singles and a double. Have a night, Seiya Inoue. And they're going to have a pinch runner in the ball game for him. I'll get you that in a second here, as it looks like the Marines are turning it over. It looks like also possibly, too, are we going to have a pinch hitter? Kenta Chitani in to run for Inoue, probably will come into the ball game. And stepping up to the plate, this is Toshiya Sato. So Sato is still in the ball game. He is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's been hit by a pitch. He doubled and scored a run, and he has popped out to first. As the right-hander ready to deliver again, as he checks the runner at second. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, racing back and looking up, and this one is gone. A home run for Sato. A 3-run shot. That is going to increase the lead for the Marines to 6-0 over the Hawks here. And it has sent the fans into a frenzy in Chiba as Sato continues the hot stick as well. 3-run homer here in the 7th inning to increase the lead to 6-0. As we say, there's definitely this one here. This ball game here is now looking like it is going to be blown apart. The Hawks pitching is become frayed. Our friend A.E. Lee says he's too biased with his teams. He's lost so much money on his teams. He tries his best not to bet on them anymore. Yeah, you can't think with your heart. You got to think with your head. Here comes the offering. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Oshira. Yeah, you never hear about the losses. That's usually the case. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a strike, and the count is 0-2. And that's why when we did the picks this year, we put them up, and we've been doing them every day. Hopefully people will come and take a look. As there's a fastball ticket for a called 3rd strike. That's going to send Oshira down for the 2nd out of the inning, and that'll leave it all up to Hiromi Oka. If people go and take a look and they say, hey, you know, just how hard it is to make picks, you might as well get the dartboard out, or maybe you got to get the coin out, because it's like making a flip of the coin. As we take a look around at the scores from around the NPB, 2-1 in the top of the 9th inning as the Dragons are beating the Tigers. As there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. 4-3, the Bay Stars knocked off the Carp. Another 1-run ball game. 4-1, the Buffaloes have the lead in the top of the 9th inning over the Lions. There's a fastball swung on. It is lined over to the 3rd baseman, who drops the ball, and then it is thrown to first, and they drop the ball at first base, but luckily the first baseman Nakamura recovers to pick it up and step on the bag, and that is going to retire Oka on a ground out 5-3. That was an ugly-looking play for sure. 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 7 complete. Your score is a 6-0 ball game for the Chiba Lotte Marines over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll carry on this conversation of betting with your head, or betting with your brain, or betting with no money because you've lost it all. In just a couple moments. Appreciate you for being here. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the 8th inning, and it is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Hawks and Akira Nakamura, Kensuke Kondo, and Yuki Yanagita. 1, 2, 3 in the batting order, and that is where we're going to stand here. So Nakamura coming to the plate. He is 1 for 3 in this one here today. He's got a single and 3 trips. I was thinking of making those picks, and as we were talking about them, and as people are looking at the picks on the daily, it is, in some ways, it feels like we're going to need to get the coins and have to flip it out, because you just look at some of the events and some of the stuff, you're looking at it saying, hey, I think this game here could go this way, or I think this game could go that way. And especially with the bullpens, or once the game is gone, I know that some people like to bet the first 5 innings of the games, especially when you have the starting pitchers. That makes it a little bit easier in which to be able to make your predictions, because when the starting pitchers are there, then you can get a gauge on who you think is going to win. We do have a pitching change here for the Marines as they've gone back to the bullpen. It is going to be a right-hander here that is taking over for Luis Perdomo, and he pitches a fastball that misses down and into Nakamura for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. The right-hander here on in relief is Yuki Karakawa. He takes over here. This is his 3rd ball game of the year, as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now is 1 ball and 1 strike to Nakamura. Karakawa has worked in 2 ball games already this year, as the fastball is swung on. It is grounded over to first, fielded neatly by the first baseman, and this flip to Karakawa is going to run and make the play. It's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up left fielder Kensuke Kondo. 2 innings pitched, as we said, this year for the right-hander Karakawa, and he's allowed 2 hits. He's walked 1, struck out none. He's got an ERA of 0. Been with the Marines since 2008. As the right-hander is ready to deliver, as he kicks and fires, it's a fastball that swung on and fouled away down the left field line. Counters 0-1 to Kondo. Kondo 0 for 2 tonight. Walked in his middle trip. He's grounded to first, and he has flown out to right in his other trips. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, one thing I like about the NPB betting is that there's never a huge favorite at the start of the game. I've never seen anything more than 155 a favorite yet this entire year, which is shocking, because when you think about the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, and maybe arguably the worst team in the league, that isn't the case, that they wouldn't give some of the better teams more favorable odds. There's a breaking ball that misses, and the count is now 1-2 to Kondo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sometimes it feels like we should get the dartboard out. I think that might be a plan next year. We'll do our picks, and then we'll do the dartboard picks, or the coin flip pick, and see who does better, the coin or the commentator. So that pitch was fouled away, and the count is 1-2. That might be for an entertaining piece. Maybe even what we'll do is we'll find a good-looking lady to do the flips. That might even increase our chances, the coin or the call. See if Pam Anderson's doing anything. Maybe she could do a few flips for us. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. Shotgun Shell says the live dartboard. We'll start going into the neighborhood, finding some nice young ladies to want to do the piece for us. Let's see who is the tops of the shelf. Here comes the 2-2. And it is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. This ball is going to get down for a base hit. Cutting it off is the right fielder, and firing it back in is the right fielder, Taiga Hirasawa. So a base hit here for Kondo. They get something going here on the top of the 8th inning. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, bring on Pamela. That will increase viewership, but no doubt about it. Mick says, remember when Steve was doing the hot sauce shots in the NFL? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'll be doing any hot sauce shots anytime soon. If we did, we'd be doing a lot of it these days. Here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting Yuki Yanagita. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Getting his leadoff over at first is Kondo as the right-hander holds set. And now he delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Yanagita. Right-hander leans in. He gets his sign. He checks the runner over at first as he works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, Eagles minus 355 in extra innings. Fighters are plus 250. Yeah, I took a look earlier on to see what games were inching their way to extra innings. There's a fastball that this is up and away, and the count now is 3-1 to Yanagita. Four-one still in the top of the ninth. Buffaloes have the lead over the Lions. That's in the Osaka Dome. It's the top of the 11th. It's 3-3 between the Eagles and the Fighters. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. Moving back on the warning track and looking up, and this one is gone. A 2-run homer for Yuki Yanagita. That's going to cut the score line to 6-2. They're still a ways away, but the Hawks have finally found the offensive score sheet here as they have now cut the lead to 6-2. 2-run bomb by Yanagita. So if you're playing the over and under portion here, not sure what that line was set at tonight, but the over is probably coming a little bit closer. That brings Ryoya Kurihara to the plate. Shotgun Shell says the must have a runner at second and third. Sometimes we can get you that update on it. I don't know how quick we can get the update to you. There's a fastball that misses inside for ball one. The count is 1-0 to Kurihara. Right now, what we're seeing there is there's a runner at first. Oh, sorry, check that again. We'll see that there. There's a breaking ball that drops in. And no, the Eagles actually went 1-2-3 in their half of the bottom of the 10th inning. Top of the 11th, looked like it was one batter got on for the Fighters, and then they ended up finding themselves out. They sent 4 hitters to the plate as that fly ball is lifted into center. Moving over underneath it is Oka. He makes the catch, and Kurihara is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and it is going to leave it all up to Taisi Makihara. So Yuki Yanagita with his first home run of the year, April the 23rd, a little bit late into the season, and he finally is able to cash one in. Well, Makihara here waiting on the first offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. That is a fastball that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the 8th inning, 6-2 for the Marines over the Hawks. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. Or check that, count is 1-1. With 2 gone here in the 8th inning. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As that is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field for a base hit. Boy, they have roughed up this pitcher hard here. There's been some loud singles. That is going to be a base hit for Makihara, and it's going to bring up the right fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. They want to keep the conga line going, do the Hawks. We're going to do a live look-in as this, we got the pitching coaches come out to the mound. We're going to try to get a live look-in on what's going on with that game between the Fighters and the Golden Eagles. Well, we have a pause in the action here. We'll see what's happening over there. The conference on the mound is over. They're going to stay with Karakawa. Looks like there's one out there in the bottom of the 11th inning and a runner at second base. They have sacrificed the runner over. Have the Eagles. To see who they've got coming up here. It's like they have a left-handed stick at the plate. Interesting uniforms here today. It is Yamazaki who is slated to come to bat. But it looks like they may take the bat out of his hands to set up the force. They're going to, it looks like, intentionally walk him. That'll put runners at first and second. And as we have things going on here, Yanagamachi looks like he has smoked a double, and that is going to be a ground rule double. It's going to put runners at second and third. Looked like it was Makihara scoring, but they're going to send him back to third. And that is going to do it, as it's going to bring the manager out of the Marines dugout. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here. So a double for Yanagamachi. That night is going to be over for Karakawa as they're taking the ball. The Hawks are flapping their wings here as they've got runners at second and third. 2 runs already on the board. And it'll be Kenta Emamiya, the light-hitting shortstop, to come to bat. But hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments as this game here is getting interesting. But we're going to take a live look in here with the Eagles and it's Ryosuke Tatsumi who is hitting for the Eagles here. As we wait on the pitching change for the Marines, we'll give you that. The first offering to Tatsumi is the fastball that misses outside. And the count is 1-0. Good crowd in Tohoku for this one. There's empty seats in the outfield. But for the most part, this series between the two ball clubs, the Fighters and the Golden Eagles, looks like they have a decent attendance. The pitching change in that Marines game is about to happen, as it's going to be, it looks like their closer, Masuda, coming in early. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. That's going to get over the head of the right fielder, Manami, and it's going to score the run for the Golden Eagles. They're going to walk it off in the bottom of the 11th inning as Ryosuke Tatsumi has knocked in the winning run. It's 4-3 for the Golden Eagles. So there you have it. That one there is going to be a final walk-off win in the 11th. Tatsumi gets the job done. And we're going to resume our action here in just a couple moments as there has been a pitching change for the Marines. And we'll get you that in just a moment. It looks like it is Masanori Masuda is on in relief. Sorry, Naoya Masuda on in relief here. The closer coming in the 8th inning in a tough spot with runners at second and third. And he is completing his warm-up tosses, and we'll get ready to get back to this action in just a moment. Our friend Shotgun Shells with the double call. That is absolutely right. So Masuda taking over here. He'll be the 4th pitcher used. As Karakawa's night is done. So Masuda, as he completes his warm-up tosses. Scoreline 6-2 now for the Hawks, as we said. Here in the top of the 8th inning, courtesy of that 2-run homer by Yuki Yanagita. For Masuda on the season, as he comes in here in relief, this is going to be his 8th appearance. He's got 6 saves already this year. He's pitched in 7 innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He's walked 2, and he has struck out 4. He's got an ERA of 2.57. The game looked like it was a pretty easy-peasy one for the Marines at a 6-0 lead, and then the Hawks with that 2-run homer by Yanagita has made it interesting. The runner at third is Makihara. The runner at second, Yanagita, with Kenta Emamiya striding to the plate. The 2022 version of Emamiya was a very dangerous hitter. Had one of his best seasons in the NPB at the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. I remember Masuda a couple years ago, opening series in Fukuoka, really struggled. In fact, he pretty much imploded. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Emamiya didn't agree with that one, as he does a 180 and a little dance at home plate. That runs the count to 1-1. Our friend Shotgun Shell in the house here with the double call, keeping everybody interested in what's going on from around the NPB. So here comes the offering now from Masuda to Emamiya. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is chopped over to short. It is fielded by the shortstop, who fires to first. So Fujioka does the job. It's going to be a ground out 6-3. And that is going to retire Emamiya for the third out of the inning. Well, they get a couple of runs back to the Hawks. They had 2 runs in the inning on 4 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Marines 6 and the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few minutes, as this game here is one of the only a couple that are still underway across the NPB. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. Top of the order to come to bat here for the Marines in their half of the 8th inning. It'll be yet another pitching change anticipated for the Hawks. We'll be right back in just a few with all your action. Hang tight, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. We have yet another pitching change for the Hawks here tonight. It is going to be Fumimaru Taru, who is coming into the ball game, as he will be taking over yet another pitcher used by the Hawks. By our mark tonight, this is pitcher number 7 to be used, as it has been a bullpen parade for Fukuoka here in this one. So he is on in release is Fumimaru Taru. And that is where we stand here. So Taru on in relief, as the crowd is appreciative of what is going on. As we are going to get you the statistical information in him in just a second. So Taru, appearing in his 6th ball game, he's worked 6 2/3 innings, allowing 3 hits. He has walked none, struck out 5, and has not allowed an earned run yet. Aiga Hirasawa is the first batter that he is going to face in this one. And the first pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Hirasawa tonight is 2 for 4. He's got a couple of singles in his 4 trips. Also flew to center field twice, and he's also driven in a run. As the lefty kicks and he delivers, it is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So with the Eagles' victory and the Buffaloes' victory, We're currently sitting at 2-2 in the games that are completed. If this game stays the way it is, we'll drop to 2-3. Of course, the game between the Swallows and the Giants go later tonight as that breaking ball misses outside and the count is now 2-1. We do have the Swallows to win, but boy, I have a hard time there. Swallows and the Giants making their picks. So here's the 2-1 offering on the way. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The crowd is kind of giving their version of the tomahawk chop for the Marines as the 2-2 is ready to go. As Taru holds at the belt and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. 3 outs to go for the Hawks to try to get those 4 runs back. Very difficult at this time of the ball game, as they are running out of sand in the hourglass. So here we go. Left-hander against the left-hander. As Taru now kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Hirasawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 away. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Yudai Fujioka. Well, for Fujioka tonight, he has been one of the heroes for the Marines. He has 2 doubles. He's walked and he had a sacrifice fly to the center fielder his last time up. So officially 2 for 2 with an RBI in this one. He's also scored the first run of the ball game for the Marines. And here comes the first pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Fujioka. Lefty Taru gets his sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is now 1-1. Just as of note, Takuya Kai had exited the ball game. There has been a couple of changes as Hiroki Manai is in now behind the plate. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's a slow breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second, fielded neatly by the second baseman. And that is going to be a ground out 4-3. Not sure if the second baseman is still Freddie Galvis. It looks like there may have been a change there as well. But Fujioka out for the first time tonight for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to Shogo Nakamura. So it looks like that Manai had come into the place for Galvis. And the first pitch is a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. That looks like what it is. So the catcher, Hiroki Manai, is in the spot that was once occupied by Galvis. And the lefty delivers. It is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Counts now 0-2. The next hitter, the other option is obviously we're looking at the lineup. It is a new center fielder as well. It is Seiji Ubiyashi, who is in center field, as he had come in to pinch hit earlier. Of course, the second baseman now it looks like it is going to be Makihara, who had moved over to second base. There's a ground ball hit back to the pitcher. They flip it over to first. That is going to do it for Nakamura. That is going to end it here in the 8th inning as he has gone for out number 3. It looks like the Marines are going back to their bullpen. We're going to have another change in a minute. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board for Chiba in their half of the 8th. Going to the 9th inning, it is the Hawks trailing 6-2. And they are going to have Manai, Ubiyashi, and the top of the order, Nakamura, to come to bat. See if they can keep this one going. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate those who've hung around with us tonight as we move to the top of the 9th inning. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change, and for Boston Red Sox fans and baseball fans around and about, it is going to be the right-hander, and that is going to be Hirokazu Sawamura coming on in relief. The former Red Sox right-hander struggled in a couple of his outings already here in the Japanese League, and his return to the Japanese League. He missed the last couple of years as he was spending time in North America, but he is going to be the one who is going to be entrusted to come on and try to close this one out. It's going to be his 7th appearance of the year. He's got 1 win and no losses. He's got a couple of saves. He's got himself a 4.50 ERA. He's worked 6 innings. He has allowed 6 hits. He has walked none, and he has struck out 3. His big knock in Major League Baseball was the number of walks that he had issued. Kazu Sawamura ready to go here, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for the catcher, Minai. We'll have to get that for you here in a second. And the first pitch is on the way, and it is a breaking ball that misses for ball 1. This looks like it's Kavesi on to hit here, but no, it actually isn't. That's what we thought it would be. Here's the offering here, and the pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Show that Kawase is a right-handed hitter, but that's exactly who it is. He's batting from the left side here against Stotts. He's actually a switch hitter, is Akira Kawase. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes 1-2. He is 0 for 3 this year, is the left-handed hitting Kawase. He is in his 6th year with the Hawks. He does not have a particularly sparkling batting average, as he is a career .211 hitter. He's a utility extra infielder for the Hawks as the pitch is on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Is tapped slowly over to short. Fielded by Fujioka, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Minai for a ground out 6-3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the outfielder Seiji Ubiyashi, who has moved into center field. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, call and a run in the top of the 9th, Freddie. Over 8.5 to win the $3 from 3 to win 7. Serve it up. Well, Sawamura has been able to do that. I could see him allowing a solo shot into the seats. As there's a first pitch fastball that is taken inside for ball 1. The count is 1-0. As I said, Sawamura had a lot of issues with walks in Major League Baseball. They didn't like his walks per innings pitched. But he does have it sorted out here a little bit better in the NPB, as there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes to Seiji Ubiyashi. So here's the offering from Sawamura. It's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up. It is behind home plate. It's playable. Making the catch is Sato, and that is going to do it for out number 2. So 2 away as Ubiyashi has been retired. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Akira Nakamura. Once this game is over, we'll give you the rundown and the recap around the NPB. Another night of ball games coming to completion. As the right-hander ready to go to work, he kicks and he fires. It is a fastball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Nakamura. Right-hander Sawamura rocks into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. Our friend Shotgun Shell asked earlier, what things can we do? Well, the other thing is that if guys use music in the little segues that we have, it has to be music that we're not going to get demonetized for. That is the other part. So a lot of the music that is used, we are not getting demonetized for. As that fastball misses down and away, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. It's one of the things that we have to keep in mind as well. Here's the 2-1 as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-1 on Nakamura. Kensuke Kondo waits his turn on deck. Really what they need is a couple of base runners here and then a big-time knock. But they are down to their final out here in the top of the 9th inning as the right-hander Sawamura rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and there's that walk we talked about before that Sawamura has the problems with in Major League Baseball. There is a 2-out walk here, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Kensuke Kondo. Kondo's got the ability with one swing of the bat to make this a 6-4 game. And I think Shotgun Shell would be fist pumping for sure if he could win himself a few bucks. So Kondo here, and he'll be followed by Yuki Yanagita. Our friend Shotgun Shell says that's how it starts. Call him in. And Yanagita, of course, who homered his last time up, is looming on deck, and the fastball misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Last pitch came in at 94 miles an hour. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kondo. Some of the nights in Chiba, the crowd is wearing, they're all black. Some nights we've seen them wearing, they're all white. Tonight, there is nothing really special. They've got the gray tops on, though. As there's a fastball that is down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Kondo. So it's going to be a good hitter's count coming up here. All the other games around the NPB are finals tonight. This is the only game that is waiting for completion. The other game is going to get going in about 40 minutes between the Giants and the Swallows. As the pitch is a fastball that misses down, it's now 3-0 to Kondo. Why not just hold the 4th finger up and put him on so they can bring Yanagita to the plate? This game here, 6-0 lead for the Marines entering the top of the 8th inning. Hawks able to get a couple of back on the home run by Yanagita, and now they're threatening again here. So 3 balls and no strikes to Kondo. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down. Back-to-back walks by Sawamura is going to bring Yanagita to the plate. Of course it is. Because this is not what we would want here. So now you got runners at first and second and 2 gone. That's going to bring in the infielders of Nakamura, Yasuda, and everybody to have a talk to their pitcher. So no pitching coach out on this trip to the mound. Our friend Mix has come on for a double dip. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. I got to get up at 6:30. I did the double dip. Get about an hour's sleep. I wouldn't be able to do it. Could be a long day tomorrow. So here we go. Here's the offering now to the left-handed hitting Yanagita with runners at first and second and 2 gone. Sawamura checks his side from his catcher. And here comes the pitch. And it is a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Wow. So of the last 10 pitches that Sawamura has delivered, 9 of them have been for balls after retiring the first 2 batters he faced. So Yanagita here waiting on the delivery here from Sawamura. He's got the ability to turn it around again. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball again that misses down. Yet another ball. I think if I'm here, I'm putting the bat firmly on my shoulder, making Sawamura throw you a strike. The Marines brass look very unimpressed in their dugout. Runner at second is Nakamura. The runner at first is Kondo. They really don't mean a whole lot other than to keep this one going. It is on deck is the tying run in Kurihara. And here's the 2-0. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. And that's going to run the count to 2-1. Shotgun Shell said he was going to take until a strike is thrown. That pitch there just tailed off. I don't even know if that was a strike. Like it tailed off the outside corner. I don't know what he was doing, 2-0. Maybe guessing that he was going to be able to get something to hit. He hasn't thrown any strikes worth of consequence. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Sawamura delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-1. If he loads the bases, you've got Kurihara looming on deck. Kurihara has the most home runs in the Hawks lineup here tonight. And who knows, maybe we got extra innings on our hands. So here comes the pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike as Sawamura holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and Sawamura has walked the bases loaded here in the 9th inning. That's going to advance Nakamura over to third. Kondo goes over to second. And now they've got some problems as it looks like they're going to have the manager is coming out to the mound or to have a word here with his closer. Or is that the pitching coach? Not sure either one there. It looks like it's the pitching coach. He rips his hoodie off and does a sprint right out to the mound. So the Marines can't close the deal quite yet. So 1 base hit here, and our friend Shotgun Shell is going to pick himself up a couple of bucks. Maybe a big swing here, and you pick up a couple of more. So here we go. We've got the left-handed hitting Ryoya Kurihara at the plate. 3 homers and 14 RBIs on the season. He is 1 for 4 in this one. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined, and it's a diving catch by the second baseman Nakamura that's going to end the ball game. He hit the ball right on the screws. Nakamura dove to his right, made the grab, and that's how this one is going to end as Kurihara is lined out for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, we'll talk about some excitement. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 3 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Chiba Lotte Marines 6, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments to wrap this one up and bring you all the stuff from the out-of-town scoreboard. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, we got ourselves a final score of 6-2. We'll give you the recap here and then the rundown from around the NPB. It was Chiba who got things going with all the runs early and often. In the 3rd inning, leadoff double by Yudai Fujioka. He eventually advanced to 3rd on a ground out by Sho Nakamura and was brought home on a sacrifice fly by Koki Yamaguchi. That opened the scoring up 1-0. In the 4th inning, they scored a 2nd run, a leadoff double by Seiya Inoue. After Toshiya Sato was hit by a pitch, it was Seiichiro Oshira who had a sacrifice bunt, moving them to 2nd and 3rd. After Hiromi Oka popped out, it was a single by Taiga Hirasawa that drove in Inoue to make the score 2-0. The Marines added to their lead in the 6th inning, again a leadoff double by Sato. After a walk to Oshida, it was a pop-up by Oka, but it was a single by Hirasawa that loaded the bases, and then it was Yudai Fujioka with a sac foot fly to center field, driving in the 3rd run of the ball game. Well, in the bottom of the 7th inning, Koki Yamaguchi singled to lead it off, and with 1 out, it was Seiya Inoue again having a base hit single, but then up stepped Toshiya Sato, and with his 2nd hit of the night, it was a 3-run homer that was deposited in the right field seats to make the score 6-0. Well, the Hawks came back with 2 of their own in the top of the 8th inning. With 1 out, a single by Kazuki Kondo, and he was brought home by Yuki Yanagita. That made the score 6-2, and that was where the final ended. Well, in this one here, we appreciate everybody for stopping in. We'll give you the other out-of-town scores, and then we're going to call it a night here, as this game is the last one of the early games that is finished. The other scores are all finals across the NPB. Start off with the other games in the Pacific League. In extra innings, 11th inning, it was Ryosuke Tatsumi who walked it off for the Golden Eagles as they beat the Fighters 4-3. It was 4-1 victory for the Buffaloes over the Lions. That game was a final at the Ceradome. This one, of course, was 6-2 over in the Central. It was a 4-3 win for the Bay Stars over the Carp, and a 2-1 final for the Dragons over the Tigers at the Vantolin Dome in Nagoya. Once again, everybody, sometime tomorrow or the day after, we will put up our stuff for the rest of the week, and you guys will be able to check in to see where we're at. Our friend Shotgun Shell says he's got to dig into his Colorado Avalanche money today, and he bought the Swallows. He said there is two types of gamblers. There are losers and there are liars. You got that straight. So we appreciate you for being in here. And thanks again. We also thank Mick3Y Official for hanging out with us as well. Everybody else who made it in. Alexander Leggett, Gracie A. Lee, who popped in here tonight. We appreciate everybody for taking the time to give us a follow and to listen. All right, everybody, have yourself a great night. We'll be on definitely on Tuesday, Wednesday, late night. So hopefully you can join us in for those. And then after that, we will give a little bit more of a schedule as we move forward. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great night. We will see you again next weekend for sure, and at some point during the week once we sort out our schedule.